week too.
Oh, there. Now I can see everyone. Oh, John, you gotta move out from here.
What is that?
It sounds like somebody landing.
Yeah, flying saucer is
Sorry,
coming in.
I'm a little bit naked, but I'm gonna
E.T.
put
is
my
here.
t-shirt on.
Bill, did you get my email about?
I did, about Catherine Cornell. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. She's from Buffalo too.
Yeah, what a wonderful actress.
That's why he knew so much about her and why he
Yeah.
featured her in the piece and why he did all that work. They're from the same city, the same hometown.
Yeah.
Is this the Lincoln Center thing?
Yeah, the Grand Manor.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
they showed the program with her signature on it, and that one, yeah. That was cool.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm gonna hear your echo.
So did Eric mention that he was going to be late, or did he say anything else?
Because you have your own mic, I have my own mic.
John, your mic is off, John.
Yeah, I know. Give me a second. Did you ask me a question?
Yeah, just did Eric say he was going to be late tonight, or did he
He
say?
didn't say anything. He just said, "I'll see you later."
Okay, all right. Well, we'll
I don't know
just
what
we'll rock and roll with Adam, and we
Just
can
give me a
always-
minute, because Vasily and I are trying to figure out this. We're having a. Just give us 1 second.
Okay, time's up. I gave you a full second.
What?
We had
Yeah,
this,
I know.
that's what I said to you earlier today, and you said it'll be fine.
I didn't say it'll be fine. I think
Okay, let's say-
We're
I'll-
doing
I'll
art
blow
over
it up
here,
a
huh?
All right.
little. Smell something else.
No.
It's white. It's not white. It's yellow.
You did it earlier. You didn't. Okay.
So I have to move myself to another room. Give me another minute. Sorry.
All right, take your time, guys. It's no hurry. We're fine. We're just enjoying ourselves. How, Mel? Back in New York again? Yeah.
Yes, it's been a very bad week for me.
Oh,
Sorry to hear that. Why?
My sister died on Monday night, very suddenly.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
oh yes, I saw it on Facebook. I'm so sorry, Mel.
We were very, very close.
Did you? Was it expected? Was she ill?
No, no.
No.
In fact, when she died, she had half a glass of wine on her desk. So she had a stroke.
Oh man. Oh wow. Were you with her when you were out on Montauk?
No, she's in England.
Oh,
Oh,
bummer. Are you flying? You're probably not flying home to. No, you don't want to do that.
But
8 hours.
My dear nephew has allowed me to arrange the music for the funeral, and it's going to be splendid. It's
Oh, great.
splendid.
oh.
What are they really tight on rules and regulations over in London about funerals and weddings and things like
It's
that?
not London, but yes, it's restricted to 25 people and no reception.
Do you have a paper on your microphone or something? Because you're coming out wobbly to me anyway. You're not coming out clear.
I am a bit
Yeah.
wobbly. I'm a bit wobbly.
Yeah, you're a bit wobbly.
I'll go downstairs.
All right.
No papers, huh?
All right.
Right.
Hang on.
I'll never live that down.
Nothing personal, just a bit wobbly.
Oh, I know what I have to do.
How are you, Vasily? You sounded like you were really upset with yourself or something was going on there.
No,
All right.
I don't think so. No, I wasn't actually.
Oh,
I just,
okay.
I feel a little bit terrible when I mix things up.
Uh-huh. Like all of us.
Because I always feel like I
you
always
got
right,
there.
and all of a sudden I got wrong, and so oh, this is not the right thing. To
Wait a
do.
minute, this is my fault. Hey, Eric.
Hi,
Hey,
Eric.
Hey,
Hey.
Eric.
hi everybody. How's everybody?
All right, how are you?
How are you, Eric?
You had some problems earlier, huh?
Well, my dad is very sick, and
Oh, God.
so
with COVID or what?
no, he's diabetic, and he's 88 or 89, and he's
Ooh.
got lots of complications with diabetes, and he doesn't
Take care of himself?
very well.
Yeah.
So he's always sort of on the brink of some sort of serious thing.
Is it partially because he doesn't take care of himself very well?
Well, that's the thing. He knows he's gotten really good at judging the amount of insulin required for
Yeah.
whatever he eats. So he'll just have like 3 slices of coconut cream pie a day or something,
Oh, no.
and then just shoot the insulin. But that you can't sustain that, right?
No, that's not good. That's not good.
So, you know,
3 slices. Ooh.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, he thinks he's a scientist. Like, okay, this amount of sweets, I can shoot this amount of insulin, and I'll be okay. But after a while, that doesn't work. So
Yeah.
And that's a lot of sugar.
he's a lot of sugar. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's tough. The diet. I don't know how diabetic. My wife's diabetic. I don't know how she does it. I couldn't do without sugar.
Oh,
I
and
love
I hate needles. If I ever had to give myself a shot, forget it. Bye-bye.
Well,
I have to go to the doctor
that's
every day.
that's what my dear wife said 3.5 years ago. So when you adapt when you have
When you
to
have
adapt.
to do it, yeah, when you have to do it, you do it.
Trust me. That's exactly was her point of view as well.
But let me tell you, the insulin shots, because the insulin shots, you just like take your stomach or your arm and you
Yeah.
pinch it and you put. That's nothing. What would bother me, like if I had to do it in my veins, that
Yeah,
I couldn't do.
no, yeah.
I don't know how drug addicts. I don't know how they do it. I could never. Just on that alone, I couldn't be a drug addict.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't, period. I hate them. I used to scream before the needle would go in when I was a kid. I hate them so much.
just to warn them, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, there's Mel. She looks oddly like a bookcase.
Or like a chair back.
The
Oh,
chair
yes.
back in a bookcase. Chair back next to a
I
bookcase.
thought it was a steering wheel.
Exactly, yeah.
Like a book
Steering wheel.
You're in front of a bookcase.
Oh God. Oh, so I think what we'll do tonight is let's reverse it tonight so that all of you had little individual issues that you wanted to get because this is the last week of the session that you wanted to either go over a monologue or a scene one more time. I remember John saying that he wanted to do the boss one more time, and I think Eric's nodding because he wanted, you all have something that you might want to do. Let's do that first, and then we'll spend the rest of the night on dining room because that's where we're going to pick up from when we get back 2 weeks from tonight when we come back. Right? That's the plan, right?
And I think Mel wanted to do Equus, right?
Oh yeah, I do too. Yeah, I think so too.
Mel wanted to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did-
Mel, I've got the book.
Oh, good. Yeah, she looks like she must still be
Mysterious
hooking.
Mel. She's a
hooking us up.
shapeshifter. Now she's a chair. Soon she'll be.
Can I have the chair?
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. I wish they could see your show, Bill. That was just so brilliant.
Which one?
The one at Beck,
What?
the one you might have should have seen. Equus.
Equus. Yeah, I wish everyone would have seen that show. I wish. Well, like I said, you want to see one really impacting picture? Just log onto my website. That first picture you see on my website is
that. It's phenomenal.
that's the Cleveland production of it. We had a 6'7" professional skater. Was that tall African American man at the point who played Nugget?
Franklin, yeah. He was Nugget, right?
Yeah, he was Nugget.
Yeah.
But what's your website?
It's WilliamRoudebush.com. It's really hard
Oh.
to remember.
Okay.
Honestly, I saw it a long, long time ago at the Playhouse with Ken Albers and Robbie Reese, and it like ingrained itself up here. And I thought nobody was going to match that. And then I saw yours.
Oh, thanks.
And
Well,
that was
it was an important show in my history too, because I saw the Road Company with Anthony Perkins in Miami back in the early 70s when it first came out on the road. And it was a very, very impacting moment too. At that point, the stage was on a pivot and the stage revolved. And so for the big ride, this thing came out of the middle of the stage and he held on to it and the whole stage spun. But,
right. They did that at the Playhouse too.
yeah, but my ride was a whole lot different. It was on the back of semi-naked men. It was very homoerotic. It was
The
exactly
whole
what.
thing was just mind blowing.
Yeah, it was. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I didn't think anything was going to match what I saw before. And this is, I think I came like 4 or 5 times
Yeah.
because it was so incredible.
Thank you so much. That's really nice. Hi, Mel. Are you back? Are you wobbly?
Am I wobbly?
No,
Am I
no.
wobbly?
No, you're
I'm
not wobbly
perfect.
now.
Just like that. Just
Yes.
like that. I'm not wobbly no more.
That's all right. Well, that's great. All right. So what we decided while you were gone was that since it's the last week and each one of you had some sort of individual issue, let's do those first. Like you can do all the monologue stuff first, and then we'll finish the night with however much of dining room we can get in, because that's the place we're going to pick up with when we come back. Okay. And when we come back, I'll try to work out a specific schedule. And when we come back, I want to ask you this question too, is when we come back, are you still going to want to maybe spend an hour a night on your individual issues and then 2 hours on the dining room? Or do you want to spend the whole 3-hour sessions on the dining room? What will serve each of you best when we come back? Because that's going to help me in planning and thinking about how long it's going to take to rehearse.
Well, for me, I think maybe that it might be good to focus on the dining room, at least maybe for the first 3 sessions, just to get that going.
Well, and most of you said you were pretty busy, and so this will only give you one thing to think about,
Right.
Well, Vasily and I were also talking about working on the big Beverly Mark thing, if and when there was time.
Uh-huh. Okay,
But
well,
obviously we're doing dining room first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So that'll take the pressure off of you guys. And when you come back, I would love you to spend the 2 weeks on the 8 or 9 scenes that we've worked on, and then we'll start filling in the blanks when we come back. And Vasily, I want to ask you one more question as I start to think of how it's going to look. Like, for example, when I was looking at this scene tonight that Cindy's going to do, where she's the aunt and you're the photographer, right?
Mhm.
She has some really long dialogue there and descriptive dialogue. What I thought was that if we don't meet Aunt Harriet until all of those 2 long speeches of description are over and the camera is focusing literally on the silverware and the plates and the finger bowls, and we only hear Aunt Harriet, there's still a 1.5 pages or 2 pages of dialogue after that is over where we would get to see her. Then Cindy wouldn't have to memorize those long speeches, and could really, it might even be funnier in the context of the piece that we're just literally seeing the china and the silverware and the stuff like that. What I want to ask Vasily is, are you going to be able to put a background behind the actors in their little squares? Is that going to be a possibility, a background of the dining?
Frankly, I don't know.
Okay, well, you've got 2 weeks. I mean, it can be done with or without. If it's done without any sort of background, then we're all going to...
I think, I have a feeling that it has to come from the speaker,
But if we had green wall behind us or something?
Well, yeah, I mean...
Have you seen that? That's terrible. It flattens everything. That sort of...
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's awful. It's
not
like
real.
like a bad 70s TV effect.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, I mean, I've seen it, and
it's
I'll ask...
already flat. It's already flat.
I'll ask one of my students who was with me before. One night I logged on and he was sitting there, and in the background was the beach and beautiful. I said, "How'd you do that?" And he just hit a button and it went away, and then he hit a button and it came back. And I'm just curious if that's a possibility. That's all. I don't know. So
We can find stuff that looks like it.
Oh, well, no, what I'm saying to you is if we're not going to be able to do backgrounds of what those old dining rooms look like, which would be obviously the most appropriate thing to put there, then we're all going to have some sort of black curtain behind us or something like that, so that there's some sort of visual unifying element that is the background for everybody, as opposed to going from, Mel's library situation. Oh, look at Anj. See there? That's the same beach he was on, I think.
That's what I'm going to be on next week.
How did you do that?
Because it's, when you do the virtual background, when you do the video, where that little icon thing or with that arrow and it says, choose virtual background, and they give you like 4 generic, and that's one of them.
Ah, and then can you in fact create your own virtual background?
I think you
Yes,
can,
you can.
yes,
Okay.
you can.
Where did
Yeah.
you find this? I cannot find it. Where is that?
Okay, so you
Under
know where,
video.
you know where you said says stop video, that little arrow that goes up,
Uh-huh.
and then it says select a camera, and then the
There.
choose virtual background and video settings. So I chose the virtual background,
I'm in the Golden Gate Bridge.
and they have some generic crap. So this is one of them. I look awful on this.
Oh, I got that. All right, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that ability on mine. Don't have that option.
All right.
That looked like an Amazon in front of the
Which
bridge.
John is that?
John did the opposite. The figure became the
Here,
Oh shit.
see, I have that,
Shit, you just.
What else is there?
that. Ugh.
I don't know where I went. Wait a minute. I'll be back in a minute. There I am. Okay, there I am. I'm back. Oh, look. Oh, woohoo.
I'm landing. I'm landing.
Well, anyway,
No, I couldn't find
You know
it.
what?
what?
One of the options is to access your photos. So if we took a photo of the things that you want, we could put that in back of us.
So
Yes.
what if I
It says
find
choose
photo? What if I
your-
find photos on the internet? Will I be able to put those on behind us? Like
If you save it in your photos.
Yes.
Okay,
like-
good. All right. Well, I will look for
It
some
says
photos.
Access your photos.
I will look for some photos, and Vasily will look around to try to figure out how we can do this. So that's a question I wanted to ask. The second question I want to ask is in regards to Cindy's thing, is that if we just focus on the plate in the plates and the silverware in that section, what do I mean? What was my fucking question? Sorry.
She wouldn't have to memorize the month.
Yeah, she won't have to memorize the lines for that, Cindy, and I think that'd probably give you a little boost on that and make the other side a little bit better. So
That'd be fine.
yeah, and would it be is it possible to create like a shutter effect, Vasily? Do you think? You know, so that when she goes, oh look, these are the pistol knives, that her thing would blink like you just took a picture of it, and then it would be right back. You know what I'm saying? That the whole thing would blink. Is that check to? I mean, just check to see if we can do no effects. That's one way to approach it. If we can do some effects like a background or being able to, you know. If you can check into that, Vasily, and see maybe what our technical options are. And again, we don't have to do any of the tech stuff, but if it's possible and you might want to do it, it might be fun and add another venture to it.
I'll see it. I'll
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, there's no pressure at all. Just what
Well, I
what
just
are the possibilities? Once I know my limitations, then I'll be able to figure out where I can create from. I just need to know what the limitations are.
Well, I was just looking around and I don't see any option on my Google Chrome to put a background up. So
Yeah.
Just under Zoom, it said under more, it says choose virtual background.
under
Because I'm on
more,
my phone. I'm not on.
Is that backgrounds and filters? Is that the one?
Probably.
And just under mine, it just says more. And one of the listings says choose virtual background. It only gives me about 3. But then the third thing
You-
says access your photos.
Are you using your phone or are you using your computer?
I'm using my phone. My
But-
computer
Oh.
doesn't support it.
But you can put your own, I was screwing around a couple weeks ago, and you can put your own background, your own pictures in.
Yeah. It says access your photos. So like we
Yeah.
could take pictures of the photos that Bill wants for certain things, and all we'd have to do is change our backgrounds.
All right. I'll play around with that. Okay.
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 I'll look too, Cindy, on Zoom.
Yeah, that's great. Just to see what the potential is. And like I say, I'm all in, no matter, you just tell me what my limitations are, and then I can start figuring out physically how it can look. But we can also vary like the number of people who are on the screen. Who would do that, Vasily? Would that be somebody like from your end, or would we do that ourselves? For example, if somebody exits and they block themselves out, do they do that themselves? Or is that done by you, the person who's the
No,
host?
I think that would be much easier for you guys to do that. That would be much easier.
Okay, good. All right, just checking.
Because you already know where your exits are, and you just automatically click it, and you're gone.
And we can do that without it displaying the name on the black
But
square.
that will be on my side. In my side, if I set up my screen, what is it called? When somebody disappears from the video, it means that somebody's box goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
except that with me, you tell me you see my headshot.
Yeah, well, what in my site, I have an option that says non-video participants. So somebody turns off the video and the box is gone. So I see the rest of it, but not the one who is gone.
Good.
Okay.
All right, good. Thanks. All right, little lesson. All right, who wants to start tonight? Let's go with John, since he was want to get into the Mr. Boss Finley. No more Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Boss. All right.
You ain't going into no convent. This state is a Protestant region, and a daughter in a convent would politically ruin me. Oh, I know. You took your mama's religion because in your heart you always wish to defy me. Well, tonight, I'm addressing the Youth for Tom Finley clubs at the ballroom of the Royal Palms Hotel. My speech is going out over a national TV network. And Missy, you're gonna march in the ballroom on my arm. You're gonna be on the speaker's platform with me. You on one side of me and Tom Jr. on the other side to scotch these rumors of your corruption. And you're gonna be wearing the stainless white of a virgin with a Youth for Tom Finley button on one side and a corsage of lilies on the other. And you're gonna wear a proud, happy smile on your face. You're gonna stare straight at the crowd, straight out at the crowd in the ballroom with pride and joy in your eyes. Looking at you, all in white like a virgin, nobody would dare to speak or believe these ugly stories about you. I'm relying a great deal on this campaign to bring in young voters for this crusade I'm leading. I'm the only thing that stands between the South and the black days of Reconstruction. You and Tom Jr. are going to stand beside me in the grand crystal ballroom as shining examples of white Southern youth in danger.
Hold on to that energy, start it again, and do silent fucks all the way through it. Go.
You ain't going to no convent. A daughter in a convent. You ain't going into no convent. This state is a Protestant region, and a daughter in a convent would politically ruin me. Oh, I know. You took your mama's religion because in your heart you always wish to defy me. Well, tonight I'm addressing the Youth for Tom Finley clubs in the ballroom of the Royal Palms Hotel. My speech is going out over a national TV network. And Missy, you're going to march in that ballroom on my arm. You're going to be wearing the stainless white of a virgin with a Youth for Tom Finley button on one shoulder and a corsage of lilies on the other. Yeah, and you're going to be on the speaker's platform with me. You on one side of me, Tom Jr. on the other, to scotch these rumors of your corruption. And you're going to wear a proud, happy smile on your face. You're going to stare straight out at the crowd in the ballroom with pride and joy in your eyes. Looking at you, all in white like a virgin, nobody would dare to speak or believe these rumors and these stories about these ugly stories about you. I'm relying a great deal on this campaign. I'm relying a great deal on this campaign of bringing young voters for the crusade I'm leading. I'm the only thing that stands between the South and the black days of Reconstruction. And you and Tom Jr. are going to stand beside me in the Royal Crystal Ballroom as shining examples of white Southern youth in danger.
Ooh, boy, that last inning, that was it. I'm relying on. What's the line I'm relying on? What's the line?
I'm relying a great deal on this campaign of bringing young voters for the crusade I'm leading.
All right. I'm relying. I'm fucking relying on this. All right. I'm fucking relying on this. I mean, you're not gonna screw me up. I'm relying on this. This has got to happen. Take that one more time, right from there through to the end. Hang on to that, and here we go.
I'm relying a great deal on this campaign to bring in young voters.
No. It's personal. The narcissist. I'm relying. I'm gonna be fucked up if you don't do this. You got to make it so fucking personal. And go one more time.
I'm relying a great deal on this campaign to bring in young voters for this crusade I'm leading. I'm relying a great deal on this campaign to bring in young voters for this crusade I'm leading. I'm the only thing that stands between the South and the black days of Reconstruction. And you and Tom Jr. are gonna stand beside me in the Royal Crystal Ballroom as shining examples of white Southern youth in danger.
Good. Well, you really got that ending. Boy, that's really great. There's a couple places, John, that it seems like you're asking them and not telling them, which is why I asked you to, that you were actually just, I think that's the maintenance on the piece. The really tough thing is that you can't let that overly opinionated, bigoted point of view ever relax. And it's not that you ever have to yell it, but you can't ever allow the point of view to relax, if that makes any sense to you, And you'll see that on the playback, that there are a couple places where there's just no negotiation involved on it, and it's spot on, especially the second time through. But then I think you'll see in the rerun, John, that the very first part when I gave you on the second one that we did, you'll notice the difference. You really get it right away, and then you'll see how it just sort of ghosts back a little bit to what it was, where it's just giving them the information without that edge to it. And then you'll see how it comes back really strong again at the end. But there's a section in the middle there that does not hold his weight for non-negotiation. Nobody's negotiating this. Nobody is negotiating this. This is what the fuck you're going to, which is why I threw that little curveball of the silent fuck exercise, which is why you screwed your lines up, but who cares? I don't give a shit. What I'm trying to do is to get the point of view right. Once you get the point of view right, everything will fall into place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want you to watch that because I don't want you to let this go. I still don't think you've nailed it from top to bottom yet. But I think when you made that adjustment, and I think it may also have to do with a little bit of what Cindy deals with a lot, which is that when she jumps in the water, she kind of sticks her toe in the water, and as opposed to doing the Nestea plunge, you know what I'm saying? And instead of just going all in, just fucking going all in, And I think that's one of the things. If we notice that Vasily does really well, is he completely commits and goes all in and goes where it's going to lead, and Mel does that a lot as well. And Eric does it after a little encouraging, and he's doing it more and more on his own every week now. So, and Anj does it, but she still needs our encouragement and her own self-confidence to just really, yeah, I know, it's coming. But that piece, that French piece has moved you, has really moved you up the scale on that ability. It just takes time. And it takes practice. It takes being caught at it many times and watching yourself getting caught at it. And I think you'll see that on the playback, John. But I don't want you to let this one go. And I still want to, have you done any work on Angelo from Measure for Measure?
Not yet, no.
Okay, good. All right. I still want to conquer this villain thing with you, because I think it's going to open up a whole side. But it's got to, well, I don't know. I love being an asshole. I love being non-negotiable, because that's completely opposite of me, and it's what I see in so many people that I'm sometimes often have to work with, and I just never forget it. So I love to be that myself, because I know that person is inside of me, and I like to let him out. There's a point of that you just, God, I just love when everybody hates me. I love that. It's so much fun because it's in you. It's definitely in you, John. It's just whatever you're doing to try to maintain your launch, you've got to continue to follow through on, and I think you'll see that. And I think it is, again, is that maybe you're afraid of overdoing it and you know, maybe not being real. And believe me, when you're in the rehearsal process and you're in the development process, you shouldn't be afraid of anything. You should actually encourage yourself to go beyond and have me pull you back, because it's so much a better direction to give an actor is, God, it's really great. Can you just take just a half a step back from that? Or can you take and you go, wow, good. I did too much. Good. And then it's like, you feel like you've accomplished something. But when I'm telling you to take a stronger stand every week, you start thinking that it has to do with your inability to do it, which it doesn't. But that's how it psychologically plays on you every week, because you're just afraid to take that extra step to go a little bit further than you think you need to go. And I say this directly to Cindy. I say this directly to Anj as well, is there's just a little bit of, you know, just don't be afraid. This is rehearsal. This is time to really fuck up.
But how do you really just let go then?
Well, you have to go further than you think you're going to go. You create a limitation for yourself, and that's what I'm about for you, Cindy, is breaking your own personal limitations that you put on what you can do. Your range is much stronger than what you believe it to be. Just like when you finally take a really strong approach to something, well, you saw it on the playback. You see it on the playback, right?
Yeah.
That's the person you need to be from the launch, right? That's the person I want you to be from the launch, because then I'm there, oh boy, what can I do with this? You know, as opposed to going, no, you need to, you know, do this a little bit more. You know, I realize that can really be debilitating, and why a lot of people lose confidence is because directors or other people are always saying, no, that's really good, but you need to do this a little more. And you start to hear that, and you're just going, God, I'm just not doing it. And it just has to do that you need to go beyond and then come back. Why not go beyond and then come back, as opposed to always trying to crawl up? And that's what I'm saying, is that's what rehearsal is about, is going beyond, so you can find where that level is. That's what the hell it's for. That's the fun part about it, is because I have no risk. There's no audience watching me. My director loves it when I fuck up. So what do I care? Let me go beyond. Wow, that's the freedom that I'm trying to give you. And once you understand the power of that freedom, then you understand even more the power that you can have in any production as an actor. And you should have all the power. Okay. I hope that good. All right, Eric, you ready to go? Did you have a monologue? Oh no, Mel, we want to do Equus next. Let's do Equus. Okay.
Equus. Hang on.
I got your book, Mel.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, doctor. You don't have to live with this. Alan is just one patient to you, one among many. He's my son. I lie awake every night thinking about it. Frank lies there next to me. I can hear him. Neither of us gets any sleep. You come to us as if we're criminals. Well, let me tell you something, we're not. We loved Alan. We gave him all the love we could. Right, sometimes we quarrel, all parents quarrel. We always make it up. Alan had the best love, the best care, the best treats, and as much fun as any boy in the whole wide world. I know about loveless homes. I was a teacher. Our home isn't loveless. Line.
I know about privacy too.
And I know about privacy too. Not invading a child's privacy. Well, all right. Frank may be a little at fault there, but he's nothing in excess. He's not a criminal. Line.
No, doctor, whatever's happened.
No, doctor, whatever's happened has happened because of Alan, because Alan is himself. Every soul is itself. If you added up all the things we ever did to Alan from his first day on this earth to this, you wouldn't find why he did this terrible thing, because it's him, not just all of our things added up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I want you to understand, because I lie awake every night thinking it out. Line.
And I want you to know that I deny it.
And I want you to know that I deny it. Absolutely everything that he's doing now. Staring at me, attacking me for what he's done, for what he is.
Cool.
You've got your words. I'm not finished yet.
Yes.
You've got your words and I've got mine. You call it a complex, I suppose. But if you knew God, doctor, you'd know about the devil. You'd know that the devil isn't just made up by what mummy says, what daddy says. The devil is just there. It's an old-fashioned word, but it's a real thing. Look, I'll go. I only know he was my little Alan, and then the devil came.
There we go. Oh, I love the way you put me back in my place. I love that. And you'll see that on the moment. You will see that on the playback, Mel. How that, what that actually does, how that actually vaults you forward, that line call vaults you forward. And actually, I had a note on the 2 previous line calls, you did neutral line calls, which is not what you want to do. You want to make that line call in the impulse that you don't have the information, and actually maybe even use the frustration of that moment in that call, so that you're always forwarding it with a new kind of energy that you don't know what it is, but line. You know, but you don't know what line.
Good.
That little step back, and you'll see it on the playbacks, how that affects what happens after, and how you putting me in my place affected positively what you did after that. You know, because you were in the space, you didn't break the space. You just told me to just back off, Bill. I'm busy here, and then you just went right on with what you were doing. Didn't break you up. You were practicing the impulse, which is the key to what I want you to learn to do. That's how you rehearse. Recklessly, darefully, no regard to what it is. So, okay, good. All right. So part of the problem you're having with this piece is with the start, is with the beginning, Mel. What's the very first line?
Look, doctor, you don't have to live with this.
Okay, so good. What's your thought process before you start that? You know, because I always talk about what do you have going through your head before you say the first line. Do you have something going through your head the first time before you say it? Yeah. What is it?
Yes, it's that he's not understanding. He's not understanding this. It's not his problem. He doesn't really care. This is just one patient. He gets his money and then he leaves.
Right. Okay. So what I want you to do is to pretend you're taking in this information, this bad information, this incorrect information that he's giving out, and that your pre-thought is you're saying to yourself, wait. So that you're just going to yourself, emotionally, you're going, and then the first line again is what?
Look, doctor, you don't have to live with it.
So to be able to wait, look, doctor, you know, it's like, shut the fuck up, you know, because I've been taking this in and I've been taking it from you. And then you're actually stopping him to start your monologue. That's the truth of what's happening in the scene is just stop talking. No, And it has to be that reaction as opposed to you trying to place that idea in your head. It becomes more reactive to launch your monologue, and then you'll follow through on that. So what you're really doing is until it's like, what's he saying? What? That's not right. Wait, So that's what you're doing mentally inside of your head. Even I'm vocalizing it, but that's what you need to be doing. And then I think your launch will be so much better. And then I think you'll be able to follow through it, because the action of what you're really trying to do is to stop him from saying what he's saying, what you knew he would be saying, and put him on the right track and just say, no, that's not, wait, that's not what's happening. Stop. I'll tell you what's happening. And so that becomes the activity of the monologue, is telling him, I'm not listening. No. Okay, let's see what happens with that launch. All right, just play with that. See where it takes you. But until his voice and what he's saying really annoys you, just keep listening to him.
Look, doctor, you don't have to live with this. Alan is just one patient to you, one among many. He's my son. I lie awake every night thinking about it, and Frank lies beside me. I can hear him.
Good, good. So what you did to survive that moment that you were creating in your head was that you bullied him when you came back at him, right? You bullied him, and I don't want you to bully him yet. I want the whole speech to bully him, but I don't want that. In other words, I want you to stop him, but I don't want it to be like I'm gonna knock the shit out of you. I just wanted to stop him because he's getting it wrong, and you simply want to get it right.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
Try it once again. Here we go.
Look, doctor, you don't have to live with this. Alan is just one patient to you, one among many. He's my son. I lie awake every night thinking about it, and Frank lies there beside me. Neither of us gets any sleep. Well, you come to us as if we're criminals. Well, let me tell you something. We're not. We haven't done anything wrong. We loved Alan. We gave him the best love we could. Well, all right. Sometimes we quarrel. All parents quarrel. We always make it up. Alan had the best love, the best care, the best treats, and as much fun as any boy in the whole wide world. I know about loveless homes. I was a teacher. Our home wasn't loveless. And I know about privacy too, about not invading a child's privacy. Well, all right, Frank may be a little at fault there. He digs in too hard, but nothing to excess. He's not a bully. Line.
No, doctor, whatever's happened.
No, doctor, whatever has happened because of Alan. Because Alan is himself. Well, all souls, every soul is itself. If you added up every single little thing we ever did to Alan from his first day on earth to this, you wouldn't find why he did this terrible thing, because that's him. Not just all of our things added up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I want you to understand. Because I want you to know that I deny absolutely what he's doing now. Staring at me, attacking me for what he's done, for what he is. Look. You've got your words and I've got mine. You'd call it a complex, I suppose, but if you knew God, doctor, you'd know that the devil isn't made up by what mummy says and what daddy says. The devil is just there. It's an old-fashioned word, but it's a true thing. I'll go. I only know that he was my little Alan, and then the devil came.
Great, Mel. Great.
Mm.
You're going to really see the difference in the playback. Swoop. Yeah. And you know what? There was an aspect that there was an aspect of hurt and pain that you put into that very ending that just sort of surfaced for the very first time.
I don't know where it came from. I have
Where
no
the hell
idea.
did that come from? But it's definitely something that should be going on all through the monologue. This hurt and pain and betrayal and deception. That it's. I'm not only angry. I'm just a little bit hurt. So it really popped out there, and like I say, it just came from out of nowhere. But I think it's underneath the whole thing. Obviously.
Well, what I find interesting is the first time I ever did this, and reading it,
Yeah.
and I became so emotionally upset, and then I lost it. I lost that, and I couldn't find it. But then suddenly it just came back.
Yeah. Well, because you were in the right place, and
Okay.
you weren't figuring out when it's supposed to came back. It came back automatically because you're in the right place. And this is what I'm telling you: when you find the right place and you keep your focus on staying there, things will come out of your mouth that you never expected will come out of your mouth before. You will. That's the high of acting for me. That's the drugs of acting for me. Is when I, just like you had that moment and you said, I don't know where it came from, but it was fucking great. It was great.
I'm sorry, I interrupted somebody.
Yeah, Eric, you were going to say something.
I was going to say that I felt that hurt sort of percolating under there.
Yeah.
Throughout the scene, I throughout the monologue, and then when it emerged at the end, it made sense because I felt it there, even though it wasn't that clear, but it was sort of.
It revealed itself then. It
revealed itself. But
yeah, it needs to be there the whole time, but not reveal itself until you do that at the end, which was just.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened. That's what I felt happened. Yeah.
And honestly, it could reveal itself anywhere through it. I mean, you don't have to try to manipulate it so it just comes out at the end. Wherever it comes out, but it's got to be under there. There's one thing that I want you to realize, that there are 3 lines that connect to this one line. If you knew God, doctor, right? Has got to be, there are, what the evangelists, I think, what turns me off, the only thing that turns me off is about an evangelist is they think they know more than I do. I think they believe they think they know more than I do. And that's the only part that annoys me. But that's what's embodying in that line. If you knew God, like I am the only one who does in this room. Like it's something that only I could understand. These are the 2 lines that connect to it. You don't have to look for, the devil is just there. That's the one thing that if you do know God, you've got to know that the devil is just there. That's part of that whole myth, right? That line's connected. And the other line, every soul is itself, is a preached line based on the fact that every soul is a soul of God. Those are the 3 lines that are all interconnected from her point of view, her evangelistic point of view. Does that make sense? So those 2 elements are the 2 things that you need to continue to work on. But you will see the difference in the playback when each time what we talked through, you made happen. And again, you're a joy to work with because you immediately react to what we're trying to do, and you're brazen about how you react to it, and that's great to watch. And you'll even see when you used anger to survive that moment to shut the doctor up, it was right, but it dramatically not as interesting. Anger is dramatically not as interesting as frustration of hearing the wrong. Frustration is a much more interesting and dramatic word than anger.
Good, thank you.
All right, and that's what you need to work on. And don't let that go because it's just a perfect fucking monologue for you.
Great,
And just keep working it. I want to see it when we come back in the next session. So don't let it go, because I don't think, again, like John, I think John has found pieces of Boss Finley, and we haven't really glued it together for a whole monologue. And I feel that it's the same way with you, is that there are still a couple elements missing that I want to see glued into the whole monologue for your benefit. But you'll see the difference. God, It was great. It
It
was
felt
really
good. It felt
really
good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I have a question.
sure.
I think, haven't you said before that anger isn't really an emotion? It's
Yes.
the result of some other internal
Yes.
thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes, yeah. Anger is
frustration.
not an emotion. It's a red flag.
Okay.
When the first thing you say, almost anybody says when somebody is overly angry at them, and the first thing you say is, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What's wrong? What's the matter?" Isn't
Where's
that the
that
first
coming
thing you? Yeah, where's that coming from?
Right.
You've just defined anger as not an emotion. What the emotion is, where that anger is coming from.
Right. Yeah.
That's the source of the emotion.
Mhm.
So anytime you feel the need to be angry, it's much more important that you feel what is behind that anger than just being angry.
Yeah.
Then it'll always work for you. So is anybody else who wants to do a monologue tonight before we start dining room? Is anybody else?
John and I wanted to do the scene from art, but I mean, I'm okay if we don't. If you feel like we need more time for.
Well, you didn't rehearse it today, did you? Because you missed your rehearsal today.
No, we
right?
didn't. But I mean, I've been rehearsing it
Yeah.
all week myself.
Okay. All right.
How do you feel, John?
John, do you want to do it? Do you have it in your head?
Mike,
What?
There we go. Sorry, I had to turn my mic on.
It looked like he was drunk. He went, Mike.
You know, yeah, right.
Yeah, tell me what you think.
Yeah, no, I mean, we did, you know, we had rehearsed it last week, right?
Yeah.
When we were going over it and over it and over it, and it was just getting better and better and better. So
Yeah.
you know, either way, I'm good either way. I mean,
All right, well, let's let it drop and let's go. Let's move on. Unless anybody else has a monologue thing they want to work. Well, let's move on to the dining room, because what I want to do is at least get a first pass on these four new scenes, and then do a review of the scenes that we did last week. So I think that's, you know, so all I'm doing is to try to give you a place to do your homework over the next 2 weeks on dining room, so that we all understand where you are now and where you're headed for when we come back in 2 weeks, if that makes sense to you guys.
Mhm.
Yes.
Good? That good? Okay, cool. All right, so let's start with the shortest little scene tonight, which is Eric and Anj doing agent client at the top of the piece. Okay. Have you guys rehearsed this at all, or is this all your first instinct?
No, we rehearse it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, whenever you're ready to start, go ahead.
Sound, Anj. Can't hear
your
you.
mic, Anj, your mic.
Speak.
And the
There you
dining
go.
room.
There you go. All right, here we go.
And the dining room.
Oh boy.
You see how these rooms are designed to let the light come in?
I'll say.
French doors, lovely garden, flowering crabs. You like gardening?
Used to.
Imagine having a long, leisurely breakfast in here.
As opposed to instant coffee on Eastern Airlines.
Exactly. You know, this room is this is a room after my own heart. I grew up in a dining room just like this. Same sort of furniture, everything.
So did I.
Then here we are. Welcome home.
What are they asking again?
Make an offer. I think they'll come down.
Trouble is, we'll never use this room.
Oh, now.
We won't. The last 2 houses we lived in, my wife used the dining room table to sort laundry.
Oh, dear.
Maybe you better show me something more contemporary.
That means something further out. How long have we got to find you a home?
1 day.
And how long would the corporation keep you here after you found one?
6 months to a year.
Oh, then definitely we should look further out. You can look at the kitchen on the way out.
You shouldn't have shown me this first.
Well, I thought it was something to go by.
You've spoiled everything else.
Oh, no. We'll find something if we've got all day. But wasn't it a lovely room?
Let's go, or I'll buy it.
Okay. Cool. All right, a couple of things. A couple of things I want both of you to look at is the rhythm of the piece, right? Okay. It's a tight rhythm. If you look at the punctuation all the way through, there are some distinct pauses, but there are many places where there are no pauses. And this is, yeah, and the reason it's like that is that she's rushing him through a bunch of houses on this particular day. And so it's funny, and we've seen everything else, and the dining room, okay, right? And it's like, the old boy's got to be a fan. You see how and again, it has to do with you doing this sales pitch for this place. And here's a further story that you need to give yourself. And again, what I'm saying to all of you is you need to create a deeper story for yourself. And one of the deeper things that I would add to this is that you haven't been able to sell this house.
Right.
So that you know the pitch, but you haven't been able to get anybody to swing at it yet, right?
Okay, and he's another fucking disappointment.
Maybe not, but now you got somebody who's in a hurry, right? Right. So who only has one day to make a decision. And so what I'm saying is, you know your shit about this house, about this room, not only from your own personal story. And I believe you have to tell your story that you've said this line before that you say, I think at the bottom of the second page is, what is the one where you admit that this is where you've grown up?
I think this is a bullshit line, I think.
Yeah. No, I think it could be the truth. It could, you have to decide that.
Right.
That makes you really devious if it's not the truth. But it's something that has worked and gotten a reaction from other people who have seen the place, who have connected to this as well. In other words, you tried it out on somebody because it was the truth and sort of got a good reaction. So because you've tried to sell it many times and haven't succeeded, you feel that this is a good line for you, that it's going to really connect, that it's going to work for this particular client, right? Okay. It's like anything. I think selling a house that you can't sell, you keep trying new things out. See, now you could also make your backstory as well. I might as well tell him this. I haven't told anybody else this. I got nothing to, you've got to create your reason for
I feel desperate. I need, I really, that's what I feel.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a good thing that for a real estate agent, anybody that's in a hurry, that's a good thing. Right. Yeah, because they're going to make a decision, and that's what you want, and you want them to make a decision your way. So that's one thing I want you to consider. And rhythmically, Eric, it's like when she's at the end, oh boy, I'll say, it's like it's an instant reaction with you, and that's where you get your side of the rhythm, right? And the first pause is, then here we are, welcome home. So what you're really saying is, welcome home, buy the house. There you go. Here you are, welcome home. It's right here, baby. It's right here. And then he feels that, right? And that's where that pause comes from. Is, what are they asking again? It needs to come from, now he feels he's a little more invested. And he says, make an offer. I think they'll come down. It's like, that's again, make the sale, make the offer. And then the second pause for Eric is, no, my wife's not going to like, this is not good for my wife. This is not going to good work for my wife. Right. So that.
Right. But I think that's really about, he really can't afford this house, and he knows it, and he's known it from the get-go, and he's been sort of engaging in this fantasy, oh boy, I'll say, for whatever reason, maybe there was a dining room like that when he was a child, or he's always fantasized about this sort of thing. But I think saying trouble is we'll never use this room is not really about that. It's about, because it can't really afford it.
Well, it's using his wife. You're using his wife. You're using your wife as an excuse.
As an excuse, yes.
Yeah, you're saying, well, it's not me, but we'd never use this room.
Right, but realistically, I think that he's sort of moved up in his career incrementally, and he's moving up, getting better positions, but he's not there yet to afford a house with, this huge house with maids' rooms. You know what I mean?
It scares him. Yeah.
It was hopeful, but it was aspirational. But I don't think he knows he can't afford it, and he's blaming. And that would be. I think that would be embarrassing for him to admit. So he says, oh, my wife will never use this room. We can't really take it. Right.
Right.
So she's got to change her tack immediately, right? Figure something out.
Well, yeah, and I don't think you're worried about her tack. Your only tack is, and here's the key line for that is you say, the agent says, and how long would the corporation keep you here after you found it?
Right.
And you say 6 months to a year. Do I want to get involved in this house for 6 months to a year and then leave? Is that what I'm, you got to consider that as well.
Right. Okay.
All right. You see what I'm saying? Is
Okay.
Because the corporation is bringing you in, chances are, Eric, you probably can afford it, is what I'm saying. But do I want to get involved in it? A corporation generally, when they bring you into another city, generally pays
They'll
for your
hire an
housing.
agent. Yeah.
They'll
Okay.
pay for your housing. It sounds like you're a hot fucking shit.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
what I'm feeling from it, right?
Okay. They'll pay for it. Okay.
Yeah.
But 6 months to a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really want to get emotionally involved in this.
Yeah, you shouldn't have shown me this first. Yeah, really, this was not. Yeah, right. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's try it one more quick time. Here we go. And think about the rhythm, right? And you'll see how the rhythm will create the meaning for you, and it'll also set up those pauses, which are really important to the dynamic of the scene for your character, Eric. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Down.
What the fuck? Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Did you hear that?
Yeah, we did, but we're not upset at all. We hear
Okay.
that a lot. Yeah.
He's already doing a fuck exercise. Already
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. Just like. Okay. Here we go.
And the dining room.
Oh boy.
You see how these rooms are designed to catch the early morning light?
I'll say.
French doors, lovely garden, flowering crowds. Do you like gardening?
Used to.
Imagine having a long, leisurely breakfast in here.
As opposed to an instant coffee on Eastern Airlines.
Exactly. This is a room after my own heart. I grew up in a dining room like this. The same sort of furniture, everything.
So did I.
And here we are. Welcome home.
What are they asking again?
Make an offer. I think they'll come down.
The trouble is, we'll never use this room.
Oh, now.
We won't. The last two houses we lived in, my wife used the dining room table to sort laundry.
Oh, dear.
Maybe you'd better show me something more contemporary.
Well, that means something further out. How long have we got to find you a home?
One day.
And how long will the corporation keep you here after you've found it?
6 months to a year.
Then definitely we should look farther out. You can look at the kitchen on the way out.
You shouldn't have shown me this first.
Well, I thought it was something to go by.
Spoiled everything else.
Oh, no, we'll find you something if we've got all day. But wasn't it a lovely house? Wasn't it a lovely room?
Let's go or I'll buy it.
Good. And now you're shooing her out. Let's go or I'll buy it. Like, I'm shooing you out of the room now, right? Right. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm going to buy it. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the rhythm she comes in on. That's so much better, guys. Do y'all see the
so
difference just rhythmically? I mean, if you just make the adjustment rhythmically, you can see the difference that makes, right? Absolutely. Now, I think we talked about that, John, this week with Grandpa, right? With Grandpa's this sense of the rhythm. He just never stops. It just keeps coming out of Grandpa because it's Grandpa. In the middle of the page, Anj, when he says we want. Client says, trouble is we'll never use this room. Oh, now, and then client has to go, we won't, period. You gotta put the period on that, Eric.
Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah.
Right? And then the last two houses we lived in, my wife used the dining room as sort laundry on the table. Oh dear, it's got to be sort of like sort of a
like that's disgusting.
That's a violation of all Waspian principles. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we never do that on a walnut mahogany table in the dining room.
Right.
We just don't do that.
I have just a little trouble with the line. What are they asking again? Because if he already understands that he doesn't want to get attached to this house for only 6 months. What is that line sort of reflective of that?
No, the line's reflective of what a good saleswoman she was just
I was just going to say.
Oh,
I hope I
okay.
convinced you.
She's actually
okay.
talked you into a positive moment. Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
you've got to readjust that in your head and
Okay.
realize that there's a reality to that moment.
Oh, we're welcome home, and that sort of draws
Yeah.
him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What are they asking again?
Yeah, yeah. What are they
Yeah.
asking? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that could also be your story. The story you're telling me, Eric, is you're looking for something to negate the love that you just had. What are they asking again? I'm sure they're asking too much.
What are they
Right.
asking
Yeah,
again?
yeah. What are they asking again?
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. So those are two different stories. Either one will work, but you have to decide what that is, and then back that up with the line.
Yeah, no, I like that one there. He's sure they're asking too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay.
Okay, good. But what this is to the rest of you guys is a clear example of how rhythm is meaning. Both of the people in this scene are in a hurry for different reasons,
Right.
and so you cue on that to find the rhythm. You see that in the rhythm. Okay, cool. All right, great start. Good.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, this is fun. I love this. Let's do. Let's do Tony and the Ant. How's that? Oh, you want to do that?
Mhm.
Tony and Aunt Harriet.
Sure.
All right. Let me see. Got to find her. Right before Jim and Meg. Okay, good.
Uh,
Yeah, it's on. I got mine.
52.
Yeah.
In my script, anyway.
Okay. All right. Anytime you guys are ready. Have you guys worked on this? I just need to know. Have you guys
Yeah,
talked?
we worked on it a little yesterday.
Did you?
We did.
Good. All right. Let's see what you got.
Thanks, Aunt Harriet. That was terrific.
Don't you start with, would you mind setting up over here, Aunt Harriet? Isn't
Hold on
that
for a
the...
second. Oh, I'm sorry. I just went in a. What's wrong with me?
Oh, I was like, wow, what's that?
That was me. So,
Vasily,
I
yes.
missed the page.
Yes, okay. Here we go.
Would you mind setting up over here, Aunt Harriet? I want you to get in the late afternoon light.
Certainly, Tony. Now, I thought I'd use this Irish linen placemat with matching napkin that my husband, oh, who was that? Your great uncle inherited from his sister. And they have to be washed and ironed by hand every time they're used. And of course, the silver, which was given to us as a wedding present by your great grandmother. You see, 3-pronged forks, pistol-handled knives, spoon with rat tail back, all Williamsburg pattern. And this should be polished at least every 2 weeks. And then this is Staffordshire, as is the butter plate, and all of this is bone. The wine glasses are early Steuben, and the gauntlets and finger bowls are both Waterford. None of this goes in the dishwasher, of course. It's all far too delicate for detergents.
Finger bowls.
Oh, yes. Our side of the family always used finger bowls between the salad and the dessert.
Would you show me how they worked?
Oh, certainly, dear. You see, the maid would take away the salad plate like this. And then she'd put down the finger bowls in front of us like this, and they would be filled approximately halfway with cool water, and there might be a little rose floating in it or a sliver of lemon. And now, of course, we'd have our napkins in our laps like this. And then we dip our fingers into the finger bowl gently, gently. And then we'd wiggle them and shake them out. And then dab them on our napkins and then dab our lips. And then, of course, the maids would take them away and out would come a nice sherbet or chocolate mousse.
Thanks, Aunt Harriet. That was terrific.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, Tony, dear, tell me again what all this is for. I didn't quite understand over the phone.
Oh, this is a classroom project for Amherst.
Oh, my, a project. In what, pray tell?
Anthropology, actually.
Anthropology? Oh, heavens, what has that got to do with this?
Well, you see, we're studying the eating habits of various vanishing cultures. For example, someone is talking about the Kikuus of northern Kenya, and my roommate is doing the Cree Indians of Saskatchewan. And my professor just suggested I do a slideshow on us.
Us?
The wasps of northern eastern United States.
I see.
You can learn a lot about a culture from how it is.
Such as what?
Well, consider the finger bowls, for example. There you have an almost neurotic obsession with cleanliness, reflecting the guilt which comes with the last stage of capitalism. Or notice the unnecessary accumulation of glass and china and the compulsion to display it, or the subtle hint of aggression in those pistol-handled knives.
I think I'll ask you to leave, Tony.
Aunt Harriet.
I was going to invite you to stay for a cocktail, but now I won't.
Please, Aunt Harriet.
Out right now before I telephone long distance to your mother. Oh, vanishing culture, my eye. I forbid you to mention my name in the classroom or show one glimpse of my personal property. And you can tell that professor of yours I've got a good mind to drive up to Amherst with this pistol-handled butter knife on my seat beside me and cut off his anthropological balls.
One of the best exit lines you could ever possibly have. Absolutely. Great, guys. Okay, a couple of things I want you guys to think about. And the long term, Vasily, what I would love you to think about is if I was doing a Russian accent or I had to do a Russian dialect in a play, I would work on it and then I would call you. And I would say, do you think this is good? You would say, no, Bill, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Horrible. Thank you. You'd say whatever it is. But I would work on it, and then I would give somebody who I knew really well a call and say, is this working for you? Here's a character that you have a line, and you have to say the word wasps, which is really hard for even a wasp to say. But to say it in the singular sense, you have a chance because there's a P at the end. You can go wasp, you know. But then you have to go wasps. It's too much, really, even for.
Not really.
It's too much for an Englishman.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Even. Mel is the only one who would have complete control over that S on the wasps.
The wasps.
But what I'm saying to you is that I would love you to try to do an American dialect. I would really like you to work on an American dialect for this.
Okay.
I would really, I've never seen you really try it. So let's, you know, just like when Mel says, you know, okay, I'm going to try my American accent, you know, and I know I'm going to be terrible, you know, and we all go, no, it's really good. But she was worried about that. Now she doesn't even say it anymore. She's just right out there kicking her ass American. I'd like to see if that can do that for you as well. So I would love you to try to work on that. I would like you to study how to do, and maybe if you have time one day, give Danny a call and say, what do I need to do an American accent? What do I need to focus on anyway, or listen to some tapes? But let's see if we can do that for you. Does that make sense? Would you like to try that?
Yeah, I'll try.
It'll be a great exercise. Whether you succeed or not is not important. It's only important that you spend the time to try to do it. So that's one suggestion I have for you. And I passed the similar one along to Cindy, is because she's a little older than you are, and realize that consider that the present tense of the play is in the early 80s when this play was written, right? 1980. Well, let's say the play is 1980, and I think it says in the script that Aunt Harriet was 63 years old. So if if it's 1983 and she's 63, then she was born in 1920.
It says she's about 60, whatever that means.
Yeah. So So realize you were born in 1920. Okay, I was born in 1920. So if you just look at it, you were born just after World War I, just after women got the vote. You lived through the Depression. You lived through World War II. You know, there are things that you are the stable, experienced person here. So, and I want it to reflect itself vocally with you too, meaning that, well, I thought I'd like to use this Irish linen. In other words, that you need to create a different way of speaking. You need to be more precise in your speaking because you come from an older world, right? It's not quite British, but what it is it's American British, really.
American Northeast, kind of.
American Northeast, yeah. And because here it is. Now, I thought I'd use this Irish, is that she's she has a big ego about who she is and all of this stuff that Tony's asking you to do. So there's a sense of importance to everything that she says. And what I want you to do is to try to change your rhythm and your dialect just a little bit to reflect the age of the character. I want you to work on that. And her ego. I mean, and you look further down, and then, of course, the silver, which was given to us as a wedding present by your great-grandmother. You know, in other words, that there's this sense of how she brags about the little thing. That's all part of her ego, right? She has this great ego. And what really basically poor Tony has fallen into is that he's done something that would stoke her ego, which is pay attention to her and all of her history. Nothing could be more exciting to Aunt Harriet than somebody caring about her and wanting to know about her history. Nothing could be more exciting for Aunt Harriet than that. That's just the best. And he set you up for a huge reversal and betrayal when you find out the reason for this admiration. So unless you feel the joy of the ego of him wanting to do it, you can't feel the betrayal. So you need to set yourself up with a much bigger ego and a little bit different speaking rhythm, you know, a little different way of speaking, a very sort of precise way of speaking. It doesn't have to be, it should be not slow, but it should be precise. That's who Aunt Harriet is. Look at the details, right? Vasily, on, what did you say? What is the wasp? What is it? At the bottom, after her first long monologue, Vasily, you say finger bowls and it's question mark. He doesn't even know what a fucking finger bowl is. Finger bowls. What the hell is that? You know? Right. Which is great for Aunt Harriet. She, oh yes. Our family always had finger bowls. You know, there's this, yeah.
What the cafeteria?
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Show me how they worked.
Here's another thing that feeds your ego, Cindy. Just before the top of your second long speech, when you say, "Oh, certainly, dear," you know, it's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Would you show me?" "Oh, certainly, dear." You want to know even more about me? Stoke my ego even more. Stoke my ego even more. What you're doing is setting yourself up for a natural betrayal. Not an actor betrayal. You're setting yourself up for a character betrayal. He's going to assassinate your ego. And the way you're going to survive that is to kick his ass out of the room. Once you assassinate my ego, you just get the fuck out of the room. Right? And that's taking those things to the extreme, which is great. And then here we go at the bottom, he says, and then they dab them on our napkins, and then we dab our lips, and then of course the maids would take them away, like the people who are not really that important. You know, we always had people working for us. That's why I'm so important, and we had all this important silverware. And so all of these things you want to look for in the context of developing this character as a precise, history-oriented, egotistical little character, right?
Okay.
That-
Yeah, you talked to me about, what did you say? Speaking in rhythms and tempos?
Yeah, I want you to, when you look at characters, Cindy, I want you to see if there's character has a different rhythm or a different placement in their voice or a different, like for example, when we did Mona, I sort of gave you a rhythmic placement, really. Tell it as a secret. Well, you see, and that changed everything for you, and it was just a rhythm. And so I'm seeing that has something to do, that's something that connects with how you work.
So it's more about finding the character, which will find the rhythm.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, she's very, very precise. I don't know if you know anyone like that or you worked with anyone like that, but it's precision to annoyance, to the point of annoyance.
Okay.
Okay. And
Yeah.
again, when you're doing comedy, guys, all of you, when you're doing comedy, you want to think in the extreme. Again, you don't want to sneak up on comedy. You want to go outside, and then you can figure out the reality coming back. It's much easier than trying to climb up the hill. Okay. Okay. Good. I think that's. Tony, you can learn a lot.
But
from
could you repeat that again? What you just said about comment, that line again? Just explain that again.
Well, it's on the videotape, thank God. But when you're dealing with comedy, you want to explore the extremes.
Right.
Because there might be some answers in there. You don't want to sneak up on comedy. You want to, well, okay, if I'm very precise, let me be a little overly precise. All right, let me just see where that takes. And then it's like, oh, can you just back off of that and tighten that up? And then it's easy direction. But if you're crawling up at it, it becomes frustrating.
Okay.
I want you to make strong decisions, Cindy. That's what I'm looking for you. That's what I'm trying to, that's how I think I can help you the most. Is if I can teach you to realize that you have a much broader imagination than you give your self credit for. You're a very intelligent woman who understands where things are coming from, and you don't always take advantage of that. You don't use that to your full advantage, and I want you to. Okay. And we got the line. Harriet says, "I see." This is after she just finds out it's what the archaeological reason is. And then Tony says, you can learn a lot about a culture from how it eats, right? And that you have the line such as what?
Right.
There's no pause there, right? Right?
I actually lost my place. That's why.
Okay, good. It works so much better. I mean, the direction I have in my book says with increasing coldness. Does that say that in your script?
Yes. Yeah.
So just do that. Do this line, Tony, from the pause. Harriet, just take it from I see. And here we go. And do not give me the coldness that don't break the rhythm, and you'll see how it enhances the comedy. And here we go. So from Harriet's I see.
I see.
You can learn a lot about culture from how it eats.
Such as what?
Oh.
Yeah, bingo. Right. I see. Such as what? Yeah. It's just like, okay, you're going to fuck with me now? You're going to fuck with me? No, it's just instantly you were laughing at it yourself because you felt the difference inside of you, right? It wasn't a fact that you saw it, you felt it. And you will, if you watch the playback, you'll see it. It's great. So that's what I want you to work on with this piece, and that's what I want you to work on, Vasya. My new way of calling Vasily, Vasya. I love that.
Vasya.
That's like Vasily is to William as Vasya is to Bill, right?
It's a nickname. Yeah, it's a short form of it.
It's a short form of the name. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, good. Also, one other point, here's another ego point for you is, thanks, Aunt Harriet, that was terrific. Oh, you're welcome. Now, Tony, dear, tell me again, what is this for? I mean, will I be able to tune into a television show and watch it? Will I be able to see a report? You know what I mean? It's like, no, Ted, it's good. So, fine, tell me, what is this for? So, again, whenever you have a betrayal, you got to set yourself up with complete confidence in order for you to naturally feel betrayed, right? It's all about the setup. It's just like, technically, going into a pause, you want to have a quick rhythm going into a pause, because the dynamic of this is, look, it's more interesting than the pause. Just seems like another beat, as opposed to what's happening in there. Oh, the pause is so much more interesting. It's really great. Okay, cool. All right, so that's the direction you guys want to go in. Nice work, though. It's coming along. It's going to be great. And Vasily, it'd be a great challenge for you, because your normal dialect works well for several of the characters in the piece, but for couple of the other characters, not so well. And I want to see if you can attack that, and it might be one of the greatest things that you ever tried to do. I would love you to really seriously try it.
Okay.
Okay.
No, and it works. It's like one of the scariest things I noticed. If you ever watched Grey's Anatomy, the guy, the characters, he's Irish, but he does an American accent. And that was the first thing I heard him doing. And when I heard him speak normally, I went, whoa, wait a minute. I thought he was American.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it.
Oh, there are a lot of British people who do American accents very well.
Yeah.
I think the greater damage is done the other way around. Americans trying to do British dialects.
And I tell you, who can do British is Gwyneth Paltrow, who
yeah.
is half British anyway. But
yeah.
I
father
thought she was British.
Yeah.
One of them, I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
But when I saw her in Shakespeare in Love, I thought she was British. No idea she was not.
I was shocked when I first heard Colin Farrell on a talk show. And
he's Irish, yeah, right?
And with that accent, that thick accent, I had no idea. I totally thought he was American.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or two of the actors in Flash Forward, that series that was on for one season. British, no idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely none.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's that. Let's do the one that comes right after, Jim and Meg. Okay.
I have a quick question, Bill.
Sure.
I've been thinking about in all of these. You just talked about in what time period the last scene was set, and I'm wondering what time period this scene is. I think it's more. It's
contemporary scene. I think it's a contemporary
time. Yeah, that's what I felt like too. It's pretty modern. Yeah.
It is absolutely. It's the same time period as the scene that precedes it. It takes that same time period energy.
Oh, right.
Present tense. Aunt Harriet and Tony are definitely present tense. Present tense in the dining room, right? Modern day.
It happens in '83 or something.
Yeah, that's when the play was. I think the play was written in '81, '82, '83. I know I directed the production in '83, and it had been done in Broadway the year before, so it was probably written in '81.
82 it says. Oh no, 81 originally. Yeah.
Okay.
What a good guess, Bill. Yeah, that's usually how long it takes. Okay, does that help, Eric?
No, but that's okay.
But also realize, I mean, we'll talk about this character, which is it's a really interesting character for you.
Because I was just wondering about his dialect. Would it be I think your mother might want to drink. Would it be like an old timey movie, or would it what I'm saying? Because if he was 63 and he's probably around that maybe. In this time period, he might have been born in 23, and he might have that same dialect.
Well, you sort of have. I don't think you need to worry about a dialect here, because you don't have the same problems. I think what you need to worry about is the challenge for you here is doing a character who's sort of just given up working at life. He doesn't want to work at life anymore. He doesn't, I can take the grandchildren for a week or 10 days, but, get the fuck out of here after that. I want my life back. I worked my whole life for this life that I have. And
right.
I've given up any, I think that's the point of view that you need to, that is most unlike you that I see in here, because
yeah. Okay.
It's opposite of you. You haven't given
right. Well,
up.
I wouldn't give up on. I wouldn't turn my daughter away. Certainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. But if there's any sort of hassle for you, you've given up to the point. I'm through taking care of my daughter. I'm through being worried about your life. I'm only worried about my life. I earned it. That's the way it is. That's the end of the negotiation, right
Well, I
there.
kind of feel like he's worked very hard. I mean, I have a whole backstory, which
Sure, great.
but I feel like he's worked very hard in his job.
Yeah.
He was in life insurance, and he did his job as a provider.
Yeah, he's done. He's done his
Worked
job.
very hard, did his job as a provider, and
This kid
he probably even bailed her out a few times already. But he's done.
already, there's a great sense of a long history of having. You can tell that this girl has been a problem all of her life, and
Yes.
you're through having her being a problem, and that it has nothing to do with her. It only has to do with you not wanting to do it again.
Okay.
Doesn't have right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of what Mel and I came up with.
Yeah.
We
Good.
talked a lot about it.
And I love this character for Mel because it's completely the opposite of who she is. You know, is a really sort of rebel. You know, who's always just made decisions emotionally and not used her intellect at all in her life, and has ended up here, back home again. Back home again. Okay, so let's read through it now that we've gabbed about it a bit. Hey.
Okay.
All right, I love this scene too. I think I love every scene in this piece because it's so human. Okay, here we go.
Where are you going now, Daddy?
I think your mother might want a drink.
She's reading to the children.
That's why she might want one.
She wants no such thing, Dad.
Then I want one.
Now? It's not even 5.
Well, then let's go see if the Red Sox are doing. Let's go see how the Red Sox are doing.
Daddy, stop.
Stop what?
Avoiding me. Ever since I arrived, we haven't been able to talk.
Good Lord, what do you mean? Seems to me everybody's been talking continuously and simultaneously from the moment we got off the plane.
Alone, Daddy. I mean alone. And you know I mean alone.
All right, we'll talk. Right here in the dining room. Good place to talk. Why not? Matter of fact, I'm kind of tired. I had a long day.
I love this room. I've always loved it. Always.
Your mother and I still use it now and then. Once a week, Mrs. Robinson still comes in and cooks us a nice dinner. And we have it here still, lamb chops, broilers.
I've left him, Daddy.
Oh, well, now a little vacation.
No, I left him permanently.
Yes, well, permanently is a very long word.
I can't live with him.
Okay, good.
Dad?
I want to go back just a little bit. Okay, Eric, I want you to tighten this guy's borders.
Okay.
You know what I mean by that? In other words, there's only so much he can fit his logic into. There's
Okay.
only a certain space he can fit his logic into. It's drinking, being quiet, and being alone. That's good.
I also think he's sort of avoiding the emotional content of what what she wants to talk about. Where are you going now, Daddy? Obviously, she's distressed. I think your mother might want to drink.
No, but where are you going now, Daddy? Means like I've been chasing you around, wanting to have this conversation for a certain.
Right, and he's been running away.
Oh yeah, which is what he's doing right away at the very. Well, let's go in and watch the Red Sox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
changing the subject. Almost pretend sometimes not to hear what you said.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And realize though, but when you got suddenly I left him, Daddy. When that comes out.
oh well, now a little vacation.
Oh yeah, I left him permanently.
Yes, well, permanently is a very long word.
Right. And you got to put that into your rule thing, and then come up with a way. Yes, well, permanently is a very long time. There's a limitation to his thinking. You got to take all of your thinking out of it and deal with this person who has this limited field.
And what did you say the 3 things were? Drinking, relaxing,
Watching sports.
drinking, watching sport. Okay.
Right? And just being alone, just sitting here alone in my dining room would be a great day for me, or going out in the back and sitting out in the garden, or these are things that I don't want to deal with people's personal problems anymore. You need to find a more irascible character, just like right?
Yeah.
And yeah, okay.
I think I know one. Yeah,
Do you? Good.
well,
Well,
my dad kind of, yeah.
all right. Well, this is rehearsal, so let's play with it. All right, here we go. Where are you going now, Daddy? Bring a history to that, Mel.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Hey.
Where are you going now, Daddy?
I think your mother might want a drink.
Well, she's reading to the children.
That's why she might want one.
She wants no such thing, Dad.
And I want one.
Now? It's not even 5.
Oh, well, then let's go see how the Red Sox are doing.
Daddy, stop.
Stop what?
Avoiding me. Ever since I arrived, we haven't been able to talk.
Good Lord, what do you mean? Seems to me everybody's been talking continuously and simultaneously from the moment we got off the plane.
Alone, Daddy. I mean alone. And you know I mean alone.
All right, we'll talk. Right here in the dining room. Good place
Good.
to talk.
I want to stop you there, right there. And again, I want you to look at this, Eric, for the. All right, we'll talk. Is
Oh.
so much better than all right, we'll talk.
All right, talk. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now, but all right, we'll talk.
So-
Just shut up. Yeah, right. You know.
Nags him for oh, okay. All right, we'll talk. Gee, I can't bear the jabbering. Right.
Right, right. Yeah, but you got to finish. You got to put the period on all right to shut her up, and then say, all right, we'll talk.
Okay.
Talk. That's the irascible guy. That's what I want you to find. All right, here we go. Let's go from alone, Daddy. I mean alone, and you know what I mean. Here we go.
Alone, Daddy. I mean alone. And you know I mean alone.
All right, we'll talk. Right here in the dining room. Good place to talk. Why not? Matter of fact, I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day.
I love this.
Good.
room.
Now, I want. Good. This you told me how I can teach you this character, Eric. Watch this. I want you to just do this, and I want you to play the punctuation in this, right? And I want you to play the sit down. And I want you to play every piece of punctuation and hear the difference in your rhythm. Here we go. And go from alone, Daddy, and I mean alone.
Alone, Daddy. I mean alone. And you know I mean alone.
All right, we'll talk. Right here in the dining room. Good place to talk. Why not?
Good enough. Good place to talk.
Good place to
Why
talk.
not? Right, right. Yeah. You know, you see the different rhythm that is, Eric.
Well, he's being sarcastic. Good place to talk. Why not? Right? I mean,
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm kind of tired.
good place.
Been a long day. Yeah. Now, all right. Maybe we can make something out of this, right? Okay. But you hear the difference, and you'll see the difference just right there in how that gives you a different character if you just follow the punctuation with the periods.
Okay.
Watch. All right. Here we go. Let's go from once more alone, Daddy, and then we're going to go on from there. Here we go.
Alone, Daddy. I mean alone. And you know I mean alone.
All right. We'll talk. Right here in the dining room. Good place to talk. Why not? Matter of fact, I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day.
Oh, I love this room. I've always loved it. Always.
Your mother and I still use it now and then. Once a week, Mrs. Robinson still comes in and cooks us a nice dinner. And we have it here. Still, lamb chops, broilers.
I left him, Daddy.
Oh, well, now a little vacation.
Good. I want to go back again. I'm being a pain in the ass here because I want to launch you correctly, Eric. Is your mother and I still use it now and then, once a week? Mrs. Robinson still. You said once a week. Mrs. Robinson still comes in and cooks us a
So
dinner.
you really want me to
Yeah,
use the punctuation? Okay.
I do. I want you to use the punctuation to teach you a new rhythm for your character. There's a reason that, and if you look at it, there's a reason that Gurney writes him this way.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a character sort of absolutes that he's already decided what's absolute, right? And then when we get to I left him, Daddy, please take that pause, because in our WASP world, in the 80s, still, even in the 80s, even as late as the 80s, when the daughter wants to get divorced, that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. As a matter of fact, the example he uses that we're going to come up with is, well, you know what so-and-so said the other day? She said that if she went back, those are the beliefs you hold. Stick to the punctuation. Here we go. Your mother and I still use it right from there.
Okay. Your mother and I still use it now and then, once a week. Mrs. Robinson still comes in and cooks us a nice dinner, and we have it in here. Still, lamb chops, broilers.
I left him, Daddy.
Oh, well, now a little vacation.
I left him permanently.
Yes, well, permanently is a very long word.
I can't live with him, Dad. We don't get along at all.
Well, you may think that now.
Could we live here, Dad?
Here,
Well, but just for a few months
with 3 small children.
while I work out my life.
What time is it? A little after 5. I think the sun is over the yard arm, don't you? Or if it isn't, it should be. I think it's almost permissible for you and me to have a little drink, Meg.
Can we stay here, Dad?
Make us a drink, Meggie.
All right.
I'd like scotch, sweetheart. Make it reasonably strong. You'll find the silver measuring gizmo in the drawer by the trays. I want 2 shots and a splash of water. And I like to use that big glass with the pheasant on it. Not too much ice.
All right.
I saw Mimi Mott the other day. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dad.
There she was, being a very good sport with her third husband, who's deaf as a post and extremely disagreeable. So I took her aside. Can you hear me?
I'm listening, Dan.
Can you hear me?
I don't know where you are.
Page 55.
Bottom 55.
Oh, I'm listening, Dad. I wasn't listening, but now I'm listening, Dad.
Okay, here we go.
Right. I took her aside and I said, now, Mimi, tell me the truth. If you had made half as much effort with your first husband as you've made with the last 2, do you think you'd still be married to him? I asked her that, point blank. And you know what Mimi said? She said, maybe. That's exactly what she said, maybe. If she had made the effort.
Well, that's your generation, Dad.
That's every generation.
It's not mine.
Every generation has to make an effort.
I won't go back to him. Dad, I want to be here.
And I wanted the glass with the pheasant on it.
I think the kids used it.
Oh,
So, can we stay here, Dad?
I sleep in your room now. Your mother kicked me out because I snore. And we use the boys' room now to watch TV.
I'll use the guest room.
And the children,
Oh, they can sleep on the 3rd floor in the maid's rooms.
we closed them off because of the oil bills.
I don't care, Dad. We'll work it out. Please.
Give it another try.
No.
Another try.
It's got someone else now, Dad. She's living there right now. She's
Then
moved
let's-
in.
Then fly back and kick her out.
Oh, Dad.
I'm serious. You don't know this, but that's what your mother did. One time I became romantically involved with Mrs. Shoemaker. We took a little trip together to Sea Island. Your mother got wind of it and came right down and told Betty Shoemaker to get on the next train. That's all there was to it. Now why don't you go do that? Go tell this woman to peddle her papers elsewhere.
I've got someone else too, Dad.
You mean you've had a little fling?
I've been going with someone.
A little fling.
I've been living with him.
Where's your husband?
He stayed with his girl.
And your children?
Oh, they came and went.
It sounds a little complicated.
Oh, it is, Dad. That's why I need to come home.
Now let's review the bidding, may we? Do you plan to marry this man?
No,
You're not in love with him?
no. He's married anyway.
And he's decided he loves his wife.
No.
But you've decided you don't love him
Yes.
or your husband.
Yes.
And your husband's fallen in love with someone else.
He lives with someone else.
And your children, my grandchildren, come and go among these various households.
Yes. Sort of, yes.
Sounds extremely complicated.
Oh, it is, Dad. It really is.
Well, and it seems to me the first thing you do is simplify things. That's the first thing. You ask the man you're living with to leave. You sue your husband for a divorce. You hold on to the house. You keep the children in their present schools. You...
Oh, no. There's someone else, Dad.
Someone else?
Someone else entirely.
A third person.
Yes.
What was that movie your mother and I liked so much? The third man?
It's not a man, Dad.
It's a no. Oh, sorry. It's not a man. Not a man. Not a man.
It's a woman.
A woman.
I've been involved with a woman, Dad, but it's not working, and I don't know who I am, and I've got to touch base, Daddy. I want to be here.
I think I'll get a repair. Would you like a repair? Yes. I'll get us both repairs.
I'm all mixed up, Dad. I'm all over the ballpark. I've been seeing a crisis counselor, and I've taken a part-time job, and I've been jogging 2 miles a day, and none of it's working, Dad. I want to come home. I want to take my children to the zoo and the park lake and the art gallery and do all those things you and Mother used to do with all of us. I want to start again, Dad. I want to start all over again. Again.
I made one for your mother, and I found the glass with the pheasant on it, the trash. Someone broke it.
Well,
let's have a nice cocktail with your mother and see if we can get the children to sit quiet while we do.
you don't want us here, do you, Dad?
Of course we do, darling. A week, 10 days.
I can't go back, Dad.
Neither can I, sweetheart. Neither can I.
Okay, cool. Well, both of you have a little distance to travel on this one, right? Mel, one of the, that's good though. I mean, that's really good. Mel, one of the things that I want you to center on is this monologue toward the end of the piece. I'm all mixed up, Dad.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like I say, sometimes at the end of the monologue, it's the way you feel at the beginning of the monologue. You know, only it's underneath the whole thing. Well, that's exactly what's going on here. This speech is you actually saying how you're feeling, where you've got to be feeling it from the very first time that you speak to him. It's got to be underneath, and you got to keep trying to control it. You got to keep trying to hold this speech that you make at toward the end. I'm all mixed up, Dad. You gotta. I don't have any other option but to tell you that I'm completely fucked up. I've tried everything else, but you got to help, you know, but that's underneath. I'm fucked up has got to be underneath all of that. It's got to be who she is. I think she's sort of a woman who just thinks, you know, if she were a man, you'd say she thinks with the wrong head, you know, but she's not a man. So she's thinking with the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't think right. I can put it in male terms, but I can't come up with a female analogy for it. Eric, I found the key to your character at about a page earlier when Jim says, well, then it seems to me the first thing you should do is simplify things.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Yeah,
all he wants to do is simplify things, right? And her life is so fucking complicated, it doesn't work into that plan, right?
Yeah. That's
You'll see when we get to the next scene with John and Vasily. One of the things that I'm going to be coaching John to do is to come up with a completely different rhythmic character than who he is, much more irascible. This character. There's an aspect of being irascible about this character too, but an irascible person is usually, to me, more intelligent because they're using their irascibility in a very intelligent way. And I think that describes Grandpa that we're coming up to. I think this character is just a man who just goes, somebody goes, it's a, let me use a sign for it. It's a bra.
Okay.
You know, it's just what it is, right? So just go to this little section for me, guys, where the lines start with, and it's a completely new bit. It's, Dad, that's why I needed to come home. And you go, now let's review the bidding, may we?
Yeah, I got it.
That is, you see where that is, Mel?
Yes.
No. What page?
Eric, help her out.
It's on 57, Mel, sort of a third of the way down.
And where does it start from, Eric? Just
Is it your line? Is it Dad?
that's why I needed to come home.
That's why I needed to come home.
Okay. Okay.
Right, and then there's a pause, and he drinks, and now he just, okay, let's simply just go over everything that we just talked about. Right up to this pause, I just want you guys to run this line without one fucking pause until you get to the pause, all right? And your focus on doing that, Eric, is to simplify. Okay, now let's get, do you plan to marry this new man?
It's almost like he's looking at a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
right?
thank you, that's exactly it. And
These are the facts. Let's go over the facts. Yeah.
Let's do that. Right. Yeah. And do you plan to and remember, Mel, you're fucked up. No, I don't plan to marry. No. You know, I want you to embroil for what stokes your rhythm and no pause is that you're just so fucked up, but you're holding on to it. You're not talking about it yet. All right, let's go. Now let's review the bidding.
Okay. So do you want to do some lines before that?
No, just start right there. I just want to start with the spreadsheet.
Okay. Can I have Mel's line before?
Yep.
Do you mind, Meg?
Well,
It is.
No, Eric, that's not, the line before is the pause.
Okay.
And I just want you to write down,
Ah.
Eric, always embrace the pause.
Brace, pause. Okay.
You move past your pauses.
I do.
You do. Yeah, and a pause is like, for an actor, for you, it's like, oh, fuck, he gave me a pause. This is great. This is so good. And what he's doing is, it's Dad, that's why I needed to come home. Okay. Now let's review the whole thing. All right. In other words, I don't know what to say to that. And he doesn't know what, and then he just goes back to the spreadsheet because that's who he is. So what your cue is the pause. You don't know what else to do. You don't know whether to scratch your watch or wind your butt. And so you're starting over from scratch. Here we go. Start. Eric, you're on mute for some reason. I can't hear you. Okay, go.
Now let's review the bidding. May we?
No. You need to agree. Now let's review the bidding. May we? Can we do that?
Yeah. Now let's
This is a
review the
different-
bidding. May we? Do you plan to marry this man?
No.
No. Now, okay. Now, Dad, be even more. Do you plan to marry this man?
Okay.
More cynical, right?
Yeah,
Not.
yeah.
You're so open-minded. You're so Eric. Stop being open-minded.
Stop being
Be
Eric.
this closed-minded man, right? Okay. Go. And.
Now let's review the bidding. May we? Do you plan to marry this man?
No.
You're not in love with him,
No. And he's married already anyway.
and he's decided to love his wife.
No.
But you've decided you don't love him
Yes.
or your husband,
Yes.
and your husband's fallen in love with someone else.
Well, he lives with someone else.
And your children, my grandchildren, come and go among these various
Oh,
households.
yes, sort of. Yes.
It sounds extremely complicated.
Oh, it is, Dad. It really is.
Great.
Okay.
You feel the difference there, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, thank you. Hmm.
Right? You feel the difference, Mel?
Oh, yes, very
Yeah.
much. Yes.
You see, it's got to be those two staid energies working against each other over a lifetime of history of him ignoring you, not paying enough attention to you, Mel. Not really, because it's just not who he is. He's not an artistic thinker. He is not an artistic thinker. He thinks, just like Eric, you said the perfect thing, the spread. It's like a spreadsheet. Okay. Let's review the bidding, may we? Can we at least do that?
It's almost like he's doing a presentation at work. You know?
Yeah. All right, let me get all of these things right. Do you plan to marry this man?
Right. Yeah.
You're not in love with him. Right. In other words, these are a list of things
Yeah,
testing her thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what the two of you need to work on.
Yeah.
Okay? And Eric, please embrace the pause. And always look what sets the pause up, because that's the key with Gurney. The key with Gurney is what is setting the pause up, because Gurney is always so darn specific about his pauses in his plays. And so you got to look at what's setting it up. And there's always a rhythm that sets up a pause, or the pause doesn't work. Okay. Right? Jim says, Dad. Meg says he's got someone else, Dad, talking about her husband. She's living right there now. She's moved in. And then he says, then fly back and kick her out. It's fucking simple. Then fly back and kick her out. Right? It's not then fly back and then fly back and kick her out. Right? It's simple because that's your history. That's what your wife did. Right? It's so simple. There's unmute yourself. Eric, I can't hear you.
Does that keep happening? And for him, things are black and white.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's easy. Then fly back and kick her out.
Yeah, right. And oh, Dad, no, I'm serious. You don't know this, but that's what your mother did. Right?
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's closed in, and that's my solution is your solution.
All right. It's the only solution.
That is the pragmatic thinker, and that what we have here is a conflicting scene between an artistic thinker and a pragmatic thinker. And Dad, what neither of them really realize is that neither of them can change. The artistic thinker understands the pragmatic thinker a little bit more than the pragmatic thinker has no understanding of the artistic thinker. They just don't. John's smiling because he's been there on that.
No, it's an excellent point. It's just an excellent point.
Yeah, it's the truth in life. Okay, so that's what you guys need to work on for that scene.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions before we go on?
No, I think that really helped me a lot.
I got one other note for you here. If you look after this pause, there's a beginning of a series that you mean you've had a little fling. You see where that is?
Yes, I know that one. Yeah.
You see where that is, Mel?
Yes, I do.
All right, I want to play that. I want to play that to the next pause. Started from you mean you've had a little thing. So your cue line is the pause. Go.
Okay. You mean you've had a little fling?
I've been going with someone, Dad.
A little fling.
I've been living with him.
Where was your husband?
Well,
No. Where was your husband?
Right. Right. No, I knew that.
Thank you. Judgment. I love you, Eric. I love you.
I knew that. It just didn't come out.
Start it again. All right, good. That's so great. Stay in that character. Take it to the degree past your own belief. Here we go. You mean you've had a little fling? And
you mean you've had a little fling?
I've been going with someone.
A little fling.
I've been living with him.
Where was your husband?
Well, he stayed with his girl.
And your children?
Oh, they came and went.
It sounds a little complicated.
Well, it is, Dad. It is. That's why I need to come home.
Yeah, and exactly what it is, Dad. It is. That's why I needed to come home. Now you're lost in your emotion, and he just takes a pause because he doesn't know what to do with your emotion. Then he goes, okay, let's review the whole thing.
All right.
Right.
Okay. And that's the conflict in this.
Can we do that one? Just Meg says it is Dad, and then I'll do the next line.
Where is that?
Meg, just it is Dad. That's why I needed to come home. Where we are.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Go ahead, do that, Meg.
Okay. Yep. It is, Dad. That's why I need to come home.
Now, let's review the bidding, may we?
Oh,
You plan to marry this man?
no.
Yeah.
You're not in love with him?
Good. And Mel, what you just did is her internal, not her external. It's like you internalize that. Oh, yeah. Right. If you internalize it, then you're holding in what you're going to say in another page. And that's what I'm saying is you're trying to deal with this unimaginable man. He has no imagination, but you need him so desperately now that you have to deal with him. It's easy to leave town and go fuck around and worry. We'll let the other kids worry about him. But now you're home and you need him, so you got to put up with it.
Yes.
Yeah, but all of that's underneath it. Great, Eric. Great. Fun character for you. Great character for you. Again, Eric, I say to you, is when you find something that's completely different from who you are, you got to remember remember the genius thing that you came up with Mel on Mad Woman of Shiloh?
What thing?
The sewer man. When I said you had everything but a character, and then you came back the next week
Oh, with the
and you created this whole character. Well, in a play like this, ladies and gents, the whole point of this is that you've got to find definite differences in character. That's got to be the basis where you're making your decision. And you got to look at punctuation. You got to make up the history. You've got to realize that you've got to create different people. And that's one of the reasons why I sort of wanted to do this with you guys, was to really get more confidence in your launch of the characters. Okay, cool. All right.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. Oh, this is great. All right, so Nick and Grandpa, let's see. Let's
Yeah,
get
can
to-
I just need a quick bathroom break.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll be
well,
right
just
back.
like Grandpa, of course.
Exactly. Or I should hold it in and use it for my character.
Oh, no, you should hold it in and wet your pants. There you go. Oops, I crapped my
That
pants.
will be disgusting.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
All right.
Ange is in the scene as well. So
I am?
yes, you are. You're Dora.
You're Dora.
Oh, okay. What?
Oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the one with the 5 of us, right?
No, this is not. There's
There's
just
nothing
3 of
else
them.
I'm seeing?
What page is that?
33.
Dora is
Sorry.
Grandpa's straight man.
Okay.
Dora is Grandpa's straight man. And boy, Grandpa needs a straight man. Woo. Does anybody have any questions about what we just talked about? Is it anything that relates to you that you want to bring up, or are we all good? See what I'm saying? I guess that's why I'm pushing you, Cindy, to look for those different rhythms and stuff like that. And it's the same thing with you, Vasily, is that I want to see you create different characters that are outside of your knowledge of what that can be. And that's what the advantage of this piece can be for you guys.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I understood last week when you said, watch your rhythms. I could sort of see what I was doing.
Uh-huh.
Now I understand what you're saying is if you find the character, it'll dictate the rhythms.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. Oops, I crapped my pants. Remember that? That was a commercial on Saturday Night Live. It was instead of Depends, they were called Oops, I crapped my pants. It's always been one of my favorite sayings ever since I saw it. Oh, God.
I don't think anybody will ever match that first company.
Well, no,
The
Yeah.
first company is it with Dan Aykroyd and who else there was?
Gilda Radner and Jane Curtin
and Bill Murray, who was not even part of the original. He was
No, he came in second. Yeah, Garrett Morris, I think.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy
Yeah.
Chase. Yeah. And Lorraine.
Lorraine Newman.
what's
Yeah.
her
Yeah,
name?
Lorraine Newman.
You
Yeah.
want to hear a funny story about Chevy Chase, right? Terry did a Law and Order with Chevy Chase. Chevy played her husband, and he was on set all day, and they were working stuff, and he went up to Sam Waterston because Sam just came in a little late because the scenes were filming later, and Chevy went, Sam, what are you doing this?
Wow.
Right, I know. Just shows you where Chevy's head is. Okay, here we go. We got Nick and Grandpa. All right, let's see what we got here. John,
What were you guys just talking about? With Chevy?
We were just talking about the original company. I just told him a short story of thing that Terry went through with Chevy Chase. That he went up to Sam Waterston on the Law and Order set when he was a guest star.
I heard this. Oh, yeah, I heard this. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do on the show, Sam?
Right. I saw that original cast of Saturday Night Live. It was a friend in the 70s. A friend took us. He said he told us about them. I'm not sure if it was before I think it was before Saturday Night Live because they were the not for primetime players.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they
no,
were
right for
performing at a
Top
club.
Players.
Gilda
Yeah.
Radner, John Belushi, all of them. We saw them before that all happened.
Wow.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
and at the Village Gate, where, you know, I told you I wrote that play about the Village Gate, there was a show called National Lampoon Lemmings, which John Belushi, Christopher Guest, and Chevy Chase and Alice Playton starred in. And Lorne Michaels came to see that show, and that's where the genesis of Saturday Night Live started,
Wow.
at the Village Gate Theater in New York. From a very funny script, very funny. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see, Grandpa and Nick. Here we go.
Grandpa,
Which one are you?
I'm Nick Gramp.
And what do you want?
To have lunch with you, Gramp.
Then you're late.
I went down to the club.
Who said I'd be at the club?
My parents. My parents said you always eat there.
Lately I've been coming home.
Yes, sir.
Don't know half the people at the club anymore. Rather be here at my own table. Dora takes care of me. Don't you, Dora?
Yes.
Well, you tracked me down anyway. That shows some enterprise. Bring them some lunch, Dora.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Gramp.
So you're Nick, eh?
Yes, I am.
You're the one who wants to go to Europe this summer?
No, that's Mary. That's my cousin.
You're the one who wants the automobile? Says he can't go to college without an automobile?
No, that's my brother Tony, Gramp.
What do you want then?
Oh, I don't really want.
Everyone who sits down with me wants something. Usually it's money. You want money?
Yes, sir.
For what?
My education, Gramp.
Education, eh? It's a good thing. Or can be. Doesn't have to be. Can be a bad thing. Well, where do you want to be educated?
St. Luke's School in Litchfield, Connecticut.
Never heard of it.
It's an excellent boarding school for boys.
Is it Catholic?
I don't think so, Gramp.
Sounds Catholic to me.
I think it's high Episcopalian, Gramp.
Then it's expensive.
My parents think it's a first-rate school.
Ah, your parents think.
They've discussed all the boarding schools and decided that it is the best.
They decided, eh?
Yes, sir.
And then they decided you should get your grandfather to pay for it.
Yes, sir.
Another one leaving the nest, Dora.
Yes, sir.
And taking a piece of the nest egg.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you stay home?
Me?
You.
Oh, because I want to broaden myself.
You want a what?
I want to broaden my horizons. My horizons need broadening.
I see.
And I'll meet interesting new friends.
Don't you have any interesting friends here?
Oh, sure, Graham.
I do. I have interesting friends right here. I know a man who makes boats in his basement.
But
I know a man who plays golf with his wife.
I'll meet different types, Graham, from all over the country. New York, California.
Why would you want to meet anyone from New York?
Well, they're more sophisticated, Graham. They'll buff me up.
They'll what?
My mother says I need buffing up.
You think he needs buffing up, Dora?
No, sir.
Dora doesn't think you need buffing up. I don't think you need buffing up. You'll have to give us better reasons.
Well, they have advanced Latin there.
I see. And?
And indoor hockey rink.
Yes. And
beautiful grounds and surroundings.
don't we? Don't we have beautiful surroundings? Why do we have to go away to have beautiful surroundings?
I don't know, Graham. All I know is everyone is going away these days.
Everyone's going away. Hear that, Dora? Everyone's going away.
An awful lot of people are going away.
I didn't go away.
I know, Graham.
Didn't even go to Country Day. Went to old PS 36 down on Huron Street.
Yes, Graham.
Didn't finish either. Father died and I had to go to work. Had to support my mother.
I know that, Graham.
Father didn't go to school at all. Learned Greek at the plow.
You told us, Graham.
Yes, well, I didn't do too badly. without a Episcopal boarding school and an indoor hockey rink.
But you're a self-made man, Cramp.
Oh, is that what I am? And what are you? Don't you want to be self-made? Or do you want other people to make you? Hmm? What do you got to say to that?
I don't know.
Everyone wants to go away. Me? I went away twice. Took 2 vacations in my life. First vacation, took a week off from work to marry your grandmother. We went to Hot Springs, Virginia. Bought this table. Second vacation, Europe, 1928. Again, with your grandmother. Hated the place. Knew I would. Miserable meals. Took a trunk load of shredded wheat along. Came back when it ran out. Back to this table. They're all leaving us, Dora, scattering like birds.
Oh, yes, sir.
We're small potatoes these days.
Yes, sir.
This one wants to go to one of those fancy New England boarding schools. He wants to play ice hockey indoors with that crowd from Long Island and Philadelphia. He'll come home talking with marbles in his mouth. We won't understand a word, Dora.
Oh, yes, sir.
And we won't see much of him, Dora. He'll go visiting in New York and Baltimore. He'll drink liquor in the afternoon and get mixed up with women who wear lipstick and trousers, and whose only thought is the next dance. And he wants me to pay for it all. Am I right?
No, Cramp. No, I don't. I don't want to go, really. I never wanted it to go. I want to stay home with all of you.
Finish your greens. They're good for your lower intestine. No, you go. You gotta go. I'll send you to St. Hoosie's and Betsy to Miss Watsy's and young Andy to whatever it's called. And Mary can go to Europe this summer, Tony can have a car, and it's all fine and dandy. Go on, enjoy yourselves, all of you. Leave town, travel, see the world. It's bound to happen. And you know who's going to be sitting here when you get back? I'll tell you who'll be sitting right in that chair. Some Irish fella. Some Jewish gentleman is going to be sitting right at this table, saying the same thing to his grandson. And your grandson will be back at the plow. And come to think of it, that won't be a bad thing either. Will it, Dora?
No, sir. Well, go on, hurry. Bring his checkbook before he falls asleep.
That's such a great scene. I love that piece. Okay, a couple of things. First of all,
I'm not sure if I'm a waspy grandfather. I think I'm a little more Jewish or Italian or something.
you'll get there.
Okay.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit of a subset of what I just went through with Eric. Only Eric's is somebody who's sort of quit, and you're sort of somebody who's irascible on purpose. You know, you love to fuck with people. You know, and that's not at all what Eric's irascibility is about. Is his character is he just wants a simple life and wants everyone to leave him alone. But you like to fuck with people. And boy, you got somebody here who, in this Vasily, this is what's happening to you emotionally that you can't control. Is A, you don't want to go to school. B, your parents are making you go to school. C, your parents are making you come to beg for the money to go to school. And D, you don't like spending time with your grandfather anyway because he's always crapping on about what he used to do in the past and you're just fucking sick of it. So there's just nothing. I mean, you've got all of these things, all of these histories going on inside of you, right? A couple of things. Grandfather, everyone wants me to go. I went away twice. You know, this sounds to me like, John, I don't know if you recognize this night. Tell me what play. The first vacation, we took a week off from marry your grandmother. Went to Hot Springs, bought this table. Second vacation, you know who that sounds like? Big Daddy from Cat in the Hot Tin Roof.
Oh, okay.
It does, yeah.
It's right. You know, we take her to Europe every year. She buys all this fucking furniture. You know, it's like, I only took 2 days off of my whole life. Once to marry your goddamn grandmother. She went and bought this table, right? You know, it's just, you've got to go beyond what you believe in, this irascibility too, right? In these kind of shows, you have a little bit more freedom. And I want you guys to realize that, as I want you to go, again, I think you've heard me say this about 12 times this class. I want you to go past what you think, because you have to create so many distinct people that if you crawl up on all of them, you're going to be crawling up out of the same soul. Invent a completely different soul for this guy, right? All of you, take a look at that. I can take care of you, Anj, in one word. You've been working for him his entire life. Forever. And you know, one thing that you know about him is when you disagree with him, that's when the trouble begins. So every time he's going, right, Dory? Yes, sir. Yeah, you know, you're goddamn right. You are the best straight man this guy could ever have, because you've been, you know, it probably took you 5 years, 10 years to understand this, but for the last 10 years, you've just known.
got it. I got the drill.
Yeah. But you've also got to make it sound like you really are his supporter, because if he hears it in your voice that you're not supportive, he would fucking call you on it.
Right.
Because he's the one, you see him manipulate everybody else. You see him fuck with everybody else.
Right.
He's not going to fuck with you anymore.
Right.
That's the only way you control him, is by playing that game. All right. No character change. Oh, is that what I am? Yeah. John, here we go. Let's go from the, watch what happens here. I love this. It didn't even go to kind of, can you see the pause where grandfather, I didn't go away. I know, Gramp. Didn't even go to Country Day and went to the old PS3. You see where that is? Vasily, do you see where that is? It's toward it's about the middle of the scene. It leads us.
I got it. It's on
Nick
page.
says desperately,
it's on page
an
30.
awful lot of people are going away. You see where that is, Vasily?
What page, John?
It's page 36. Yeah.
Okay. When I say I don't know, and then
I
yours?
didn't go. Yeah, Grandpa says I didn't go away. You say I know, Grandpa. It didn't even go to Country Day. You see where that is?
It's at the top.
I didn't go. Yes, I see that. Okay, on the top.
All right. Now I want to read that scene. Now watch what happens. All right. Now I'm taking it to another degree. John, I don't ever want you to pause. I didn't go away. Didn't even go to Country Day. Play the period. And Vasily, all I want you to try to do is to get your lines in between. But I don't,
Right.
John, I don't ever want you to stop. And I want you
Right.
to see the difference
Right.
in what happens here.
Mhm.
This is a monologue, John. Here we go. All the way up to, oh, is that what I am? Okay, here we go. And start it with, I didn't go away. Here's your bullshit. Go.
I didn't go away.
I know, Graham.
Didn't even go to Country Day. Went to the old PS 36 down on Huron Street.
Yes, Graham.
Didn't finish either. Father died and I had to go to work. Had to support my mother.
I know
My
that,
father
Graham.
didn't go to school at all. Learned Greek at the plow.
You told us, Graham.
Yes, well, I didn't do too badly without a high Episcopal boarding school and an indoor hockey rink.
But you're a self-made man, Graham.
Oh, is that what I am?
Okay, good. See the difference in the dynamic of that? You know, now you've just given us the experience that you've heard the story over and over and over and over, right? I know that, Gramp. You told us, Gramp. What you're trying to do is to shut him off the story the whole time, but he's this old. He knows he's fucking with you. He knows what he's doing here, right? And then he goes, but you're a self. Oh, is that what I am? And what are you? Don't you want to be self-made? And he's trying to push this kid to say something. But this kid is not going to say a word, but he's got to give him that beat to say it. And every time he doesn't say something, the stakes of the next question become even higher for you, so that you create a higher stake with each question. Let's go back and run that once again from the same spot all the way through. Everyone through that long speech. Everyone wants to go away.
Okay.
Me? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't go away.
I know.
Didn't even
Graham.
go to Country Day. Went to
Okay,
the
let's
old.
go. Let's go back. Okay,
Okay.
you got to be right on your cues, right?
No, I just got confused where to start. Okay, now I see it. All right. Mhm.
Okay, here we go. One so shoot.
I didn't go away.
I know, Graham.
Didn't even go to Country Day. Went to the old PS 36 down on Huron Street.
Yes, Graham.
Didn't finish either. Father died and I had to go to work. Had to support my mother.
I know that,
My father
Graham.
didn't go to school at all. Learned Greek at the plow.
You told us,
Yes,
Graham.
yes. Well, I didn't do too badly. Without a high Episcopal boarding school and an indoor hockey rink.
But you're a self-made man, Graham.
Oh, is that what I am? And what are you? Don't you want to be a self-made? Or do you want other people to make you? What do you got to say to that?
I don't know.
Everyone wants to go away. Me? I went away twice. 2 vacations in my life. First vacation, took a week off from work to marry your grandmother. Went to Hot Springs, Virginia. Bought this table. Second vacation, Europe. 1928. Again, with your grandmother. Hated the place. Knew I would. Miserable meals. Took a trunk load of shredded wheat along. Came back when it ran out. Back to this table. They're all leaving us, Dora. Scattering like birds.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly it. Oh, yes, sir. You're fucking actually, that's just great. That's just, you feel the difference instantly, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's such a good story that way, right? And it really puts everybody in their place. That's exactly what it is. Now, I'm going to do it one more time, John. And I'm going to take it another degree, all right?
Yeah.
Watch this, all right? Now, I didn't fucking go away. I want you to do the fuck exercise all the way up to the long speech, and then I want you to turn it to goddamn. Everybody wants me to go away. Me, I went away twice. I took 2 goddamn vacations in my life. The first day, all right? So I want you to do fuck all the way through, and then I want you to goddamn me in the thing. Watch what happens, all right?
In the last speech, okay.
Yeah, all right, but the same rhythm. Vasily, you gotta get your little things in there. Don't forget to get them in there. All right, here we go. God, now just do it, John. Go all the way with it, man. I didn't fucking go away. And here we go. Start it off. And go.
I didn't fucking go away.
I know, Graham.
Didn't even go to fucking Country Day. Went to the fucking old PS 36 down on fucking Huron
Yes,
Street.
Graham.
Didn't fucking finish either. Fucking father died and I had to fucking go to work. Had to support my fucking
I
mother.
know that,
My
Graham.
father didn't go to school at all. Learned fucking Greek at the fucking plow.
I told us, Graham.
Yes, well, I didn't fucking do too badly without a fucking high Episcopal fucking boarding school and a fucking indoor fucking hockey
But
rink.
you're a self-made man, Graham.
Oh, is that what the fuck I am? And what the fuck are you? Don't you want to be fucking self-made? Or do you want other people to fucking make you? What the fuck you got to say to that?
I don't know.
Everyone wants to fucking go away. Me, I went away twice. Took 2 goddamn vacations in life. First goddamn vacation, took a week off from work to marry your goddamn grandmother. Went to goddamn Hot Springs, Virginia, bought this goddamn table. Second vacation, goddamn Europe, 1928. Again with your goddamn grandmother. Hated the place. Knew I would. Miserable goddamn meals. Took a trunk load of goddamn shredded wheat along. Came back when it goddamn ran out. Back to this goddamn table. They're all leaving us, Dora, scattering like goddamn birds.
Well, God, I can't wait till you see the playback. John, you know what I'm saying is, when you, even before you started to do this, you were laughing because of how much fun you knew you were going to have doing this. This is the most pure version of what I want you guys to look at every time before you pick up a script is I can't wait to fucking do this. This is just great. It's that aspect of you enjoying doing that really makes the character. And you knew it was going to goddamn work right away. I mean, you knew it before, right? Before I even said it, that's why you started laughing, right? And it obviously puts poor Vasily's character in just such, you know, I mean, what's he going to say to all of that, you know? And when you tell me you don't, I mean, I just can't wait to see the playback. That's all. It was just brilliant. You all see that, right? And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just the sense I've
Yes,
been.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
You know what? It kind of reminded me too when he goes when he says second vacation Europe 1928. It reminds me of the character in the Golden Girls, the mother.
Sophia.
Yes,
Yeah.
Del
Sophia.
Getty. Picture it.
Picture it, Sicily, 1928.
Boy, absolutely. And there's a little bit of that character, the older mother, in this character. You know, she's an old, irascible person that likes to fuck with the other three. That's exactly what she like. You know, there is a female version of this character. It's great. So I mean, that's what you guys need to work on. Okay, that's what you guys need to work on that scene. That's so funny. I saw all of your faces light up when John started doing this, and it's just it's just so much fun. Why can't it always be this much fun?
Right, exactly.
Oh God, can I go back to Boss
Yeah, but-
Finley now?
Yeah. God damn, you sure can, right? You'd pop right in. That's what I'm saying is that you've got to work in extremes. And when I force you to work into extremes, you just shine like the brightest light. This energy comes out of you. And it just proves to me that I'm right, is that you're holding back on what your potential really is. Just because you're afraid possibly of being wrong. I don't know what it is, but it's breaking through so that you are the powerful creative artist in this. And boy, both of you should feel that, both John and Vasily, because both of you are really gifted actors. You really are. And
Thank you.
but it's your own. Vasily worries about how he sounds sometimes, and that bothers him, and that pulls him back from the things that he does really well. Well, he's just got to solve that problem. And John, you just underplay yourself just a little bit. You can go so much further. And let me please, let me give you the direction to back off. Let me say, you know, just like one of my favorite moments tonight was when Mel, when I asked her to, you know, listen, going, wait, and she just fucking charged at that doctor, and I went, God, that's so great. Now just pull that back, because you can't really shut him off with anger. You know, you have to temper the anger, but that's exactly what you're feeling. And then the second time she did that, and she wouldn't know that, and I wouldn't know that unless you actually go further and I can pull you back. I mean, I can tell when you're underneath, and so I help you out. That was just really nice. It's such a great character, such a great scene for the both of you. I love it. I love it. Okay. Any questions on that?
You for your direction.
It's so much fun, John. I can't wait for you to watch yourself in the playback. And you know, I would probably say, okay, good. Now let's just back that off. Like that was like an 11. You know, let's take it back to a 9.5. You know, and I was like, yeah, I can do that, because I know where the place is, because I took the chance to go to that distant place. Right. Okay. Cool. All right, let's run through. We've got, boy, I'm good timing. I'm good with timing. We've got a half hour to run through the scenes that we've already done, all right, that we did last week, right?
Okay.
So who do we want to start out with? Let me see. Let me see. Flip through Father, Mother. Ellie. Did we do Ellie and Howard, right? We haven't done that yet.
Haven't done it.
Okay, good. I love that one too. Okay. Well, our first one up here is Carolyn and Grace.
Okay, great.
Why did you tell Mildred to wake me up, Mother? Right? That's our first. We'll just do it. We'll go through them in order. I'm just checking to see if where we left off last week is where we're going to leave off and take you to another place this week. That's what it's for. All right. Anytime you're ready.
Why did you tell Mildred to wake me up, Mother?
Just let me finish this grocery list.
I mean, it's Saturday, Mother.
There. I know it's Saturday, darling, and I apologize, but something has come up and I need you to make a little decision.
What decision?
Start your breakfast, dear. No one can think on an empty stomach. Now, guess who telephoned this morning?
Who?
Your Aunt Martha.
What did you want?
No. Oh, I love her.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, so do I, but the poor thing hasn't got enough, so she was on the phone at the crack of dawn.
What did she want?
Well, now here's the thing. She has an extra ticket to the theater this evening, and she wants you to join her.
Well, sure.
And now wait till I finish, dear. I told her it was your decision, of course, but I thought that you had other plans.
What other plans?
Now think, darling. Isn't there something rather special going on in your life this evening? Am I right or am I right?
Dancing school.
Not dancing school, sweetheart. The first session of the junior assemblies, which is a big step beyond dancing school.
I can't work in a place like this. It's like a tomb.
I told Aunt Martha you'd call her right back so that she could drum up someone else.
I thought it was my decision.
Well, it is, sweetheart, of course.
Well, then I want to see a play with Aunt Martha.
Carolyn, I wonder if you're being just a little impulsive this morning. I mean, you don't even know what the play is.
Well, what is it then?
Well, it happens to be a very talky play called St. Joan.
Oh, we read that at school. I want to go all the more.
It's the road company, sweetheart. It doesn't even have Catherine Cornell.
I'd still like to go.
To some endless play with your maiden aunt.
She's my favorite person.
Well, then go if it's that important to you.
All right, I'll call her right now.
Carolyn, you realize, of course, that on the first junior assembly, everyone gets acquainted.
Really?
Heavens, yes. It starts the whole thing off on the right foot.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, it's like the first day of school. Once you miss, you never catch up.
Oh, gosh.
Now, you see why we shouldn't make hasty decisions?
Well, maybe I won't go at all.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe I'll skip all the
Junior assemblies.
the who?
The juniors assemblies.
Junior assemblies. Oh,
No, Carolyn.
well, I don't like dancing school.
Oh, don't be silly.
It's true. I never liked dancing school. Lines.
I'm bigger than half the boys.
I'm bigger than half the boys, and I never know what to say. And I'm not a good dancer. And I spent half of last year in the ladies' room.
Oh, that's nonsense.
It's true, Mother. I hate dancing school. I don't know why I even have to go. St. Joan wouldn't go to dancing school in a million years.
Yes, and look what happened to St. Joan.
I don't care. I made up my mind.
Your Aunt Martha seems to have caused a bit of trouble this morning.
Good.
Oh, your Aunt Martha seems to have opened a whole can of worms.
I'm glad she did.
All right. And just how do you propose to spend the rest of your Saturday evenings when there is no St. Joan and no Aunt Martha?
I'll do
And all
something.
your friends are having the time of their lives at the junior assemblies.
I'll do something.
Such as what? Hang around here. It's like listening to that stupid hit parade, bothering the maids when we're planning to have a party.
I'll do something.
Oh, well, you're certainly not old enough to make an intelligent decision.
I knew you wouldn't let me decide.
All right then, decide. But let
I'd
me
like to-
tell you a very short story before you do about your Aunt Martha, who made a little decision herself when she was about your age. She decided, and if you breathe a word of this, I will strangle you, that she was in love with her riding master. And so she threw everything up and ran off with him to Taos, New Mexico, where your father had to go find her and drag her back. But it was too late, Carolyn. She'd been overstimulated. And ever since then, she's refused to join the workday world. So now there it is in a nutshell. So you think about it while I'm ordering the groceries and decide.
I've decided, Mother.
Good. I hope you've come to your senses.
I've decided to call Aunt Martha.
You've got a dentist appointment, Carolyn. You've got riding lessons in. No, we'll skip the riding lessons. But Carolyn!
Nice work, you guys. You've really worked on it nicely. It's really,
Sorry,
really.
I fucked up the words.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. You know, that's a big problem with me.
Yeah.
You've done some really good work on this, both of you. Really, really, I'm proud of both of you. You've made some really strong decisions going exactly in the right direction. I got a couple more things for you to think about. Ellie, you missed your shit, right? You missed the shit in there.
No, I said shit. I said shit.
You did say shit. Okay.
I
good.
did.
Okay. Okay. So here, what do I have here? Yes. This is toward the beginning of the scene, maybe 15 lines into it. Carolyn has the line, "Oh," right? It's right after Grace says, "Now think, darling, isn't there something rather special going on in your life this evening?" Right? You see where that is, girls?
Yeah,
Right?
top of
Then there's a pause, right? And
Yeah.
Anj, what you're giving me as a reaction is, right? And that would be written O-H-H-H-H
Oh,
dot,
okay.
dot. Yeah.
Oh.
So, but what the playwright wants is, oh.
Oh.
Yeah. And that changes am I right? Dancing school. You know, it changes the rhythm on how you do the whole thing, right?
You're right. Yeah.
Again, two different things. Grace, you decide. I told you. What you're really saying a little further down, about 4 more lines down, Cindy, is, I told Aunt Martha you'd call her right back so she could drum up somebody else. You've already decided that, right? You've got to make that line a decision. I told her I'd call her right. I didn't tell her you're gonna. Yeah, you got to sound like it's already decided.
Nice. So I told Aunt Martha you'd call her right back so she can drum up someone else.
I thought it was my decision. What the fuck are you doing? That's exactly what she's saying, right? But you've got to make that decision for her. You're gonna like this. About 10 lines later, Grace has a line, "To some endless play with your maiden aunt. She's my favorite person. Well, then go if it's all that important." You can't take any pause after that next on that next thing. It's got to be so tied up with that energy of with your maiden aunt, and then she says, "She's my favorite." Well, then go ahead, go on, get the fuck. It's a little bit like I see mother and daughter when she says, "Well, maybe I won't go at all." Yeah, it's actually you are your mother's daughter when you say that. That's sort of set up that way. That's kind of cool. I never noticed that before. Good. Carolyn, a little further down on that page, you have the line, "Then maybe I won't go at all," which is what we say. What do you mean? Maybe I'll skip the. You've got to realize that you're on to something here. You're on to a way of getting out of this. So that she says, "Do those lines, then maybe I won't go at all." And Cindy, pick her up. You see where it is?
No, where is that?
It's a little further from the last note I gave you.
On 20. Okay.
Here we go. "Then maybe I won't go at all." Here we go.
Then maybe I won't go at all.
What do you mean?
Maybe I'll skip all the junior assemblies.
Oh, Carolyn,
I don't like dancing school anyway.
don't be silly.
I don't. I never liked it. I'm bigger than half the boys, and I never know what to say. And I'm a terrible dancer. Last year, I spent half the time in the ladies' room.
That's nonsense.
It's true, Mother. I hate dancing school. I don't know why I have to go. St. Joan wouldn't go to dancing school in a million years.
Yes, and look what happened to St. Joan.
Yeah, well, I don't care. I've made up my mind.
Good. Now, I didn't say to take a pause after St. Joan, or did I?
St. Joan wouldn't go to dancing school.
Yeah, you said, look what happened to St. Joan. I don't care. I've made up my mind. And then the pause comes after that.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, you didn't
Right.
tell me.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I didn't give
Yeah,
you that.
no, you didn't. No.
Right. Okay. Because Cindy's character needs that whole pause, right, to make
Yeah.
that adjustment. And if you pause after St. Joan, which is a reasonable place to pause because it's a very funny line. But yes, and look what happened is, I don't care. I've made up my mind.
Yeah, and he even has pause written in there.
Yeah, he's got it written in. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That was much better, Anj, because maybe I won't go at all. What do you mean? Well, maybe I'll skip the junior. You're just fishing here, right? Oh,
Right.
okay. Well, I don't like dancing anyway. You're making this up as you go along.
Right,
But you're on to something here.
right.
All right. And that's what I'm saying to follow through. Cindy, you have a line such as what? Hanging around here listening to that stupid hit parade. You've got to have that stupid fucking hit parade. You got to have you put a little fuck in there. I'd like to. All right, now here we go. All right, on the top of a little bit, about 5 lines after that, Grace has a line. All right, then decide, right? And Carolyn, you've got to get, I'd like to, right on top of that cue, because she's not going to pause to make this next thing. All right, then decide. But let me tell you, right? Yeah. And that's your rhythm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk about, now you can go right into your little secret. And if you tell this to your mother, I'm going to, give me that little, I'm telling you something that nobody else in the family even knows about, or we don't even talk about it anymore because it was so bad. Go to your little secret dynamic there, but keep your same rhythm. It's great.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Michael,
Secret dynamic.
Great. All right, great, ladies. It's coming to the right. It's going exactly the right way. I love it.
Anj cracked me up this morning the first time we did this, and she's just standing there going, "What did you tell her to wake me up?" And I'm like, "You should see your face."
I know.
Funniest thing.
She can. All she's got to do is hit playback.
Right.
All right. Okay, here we go. That's great. That's come a long way. Keep going in this direction. It's absolutely right. Cindy, really great decisions. This is one of the best weeks that you've had from starting to create the character to starting really to bring it to life. You've made some really good decisions, strong decisions, and I think that's going exactly the right direction. Congratulations. Nice. Okay, let's see who's up next. We got Karen. We got Aggie and Michael, right? We got Aggie and Michael.
We do. Cindy, could you hold book?
Oh yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, anytime you guys are ready.
Hang on, John, just a second. Let me get speaker view. Okay, then come on, speaker view. Okay.
Woo!
Michael, you scared the skin out of me.
I wanted to.
Your mother said you was sick this morning.
I was. I am.
Too sick to go to school.
I am, Aggie. I upchucked twice.
Then you get straight right back to bed.
How come you didn't do my room yet?
Because I thought you were sleeping.
I've just been lying there, Ag, waiting.
Well, I've got a lot more to do now that Ida's left. I've got the silver, I've got the downstairs laboratory, I've got all the beds besides.
My mother says you want to leave us.
When did she say that?
Last Thursday, on your day off, when she was cooking dinner. She said, now there's a war. You're looking for a job with more money. Is that true, Ag?
Maybe.
Money isn't everything, Aggie.
Oh, listen to him now.
You could be rich as a king and still be miserable. Look at my Uncle Paul. He's rich as Croesus, and yet he's drinking himself into oblivion.
What do you know about all that?
I know a lot. I eat dinner here in the dining room now. I listen, and I know that my Uncle Paul is drinking himself into oblivion, and Mrs. Williams has a tipped uterus.
Here now, you stop that talk.
Well, it's true, Ag, and it proves that money isn't everything, so you don't have to leave us.
Oh, it's not just the money, darling.
Then what, Ag? Don't you like us anymore?
Oh, Michael.
Don't you like our family?
Mikey?
Are you still mad at me for peeking at you in the bathtub?
That's enough now.
Then what is it, Ag? How come you're just leaving?
Because I don't want to do domestic service no more.
Why?
Because I don't like it, Mike.
That's because Ida left, and you have too much to do, Ag.
No, darling.
I'll help you, Ag. I swear. I'll make my own bed and pick up my towel. I'll try to be more careful when I pee.
Oh, Lord, love you, lad.
No, really, I will. And I'll tell my parents not to have so many dinner parties, Ag. I'll tell them to give you more time off. I'll tell them to give you all day Sunday.
No, darling. No.
I'm serious, Ag.
I know, darling, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
Okay, let's measure it out then.
When will you be going then, Ag?
As soon as your mother can find someone else.
She can't find anyone, Aggie.
She will. She will.
She says she can't. They keep showing up with dirty fingernails and dyed hair.
22 feet 6 inches.
Fine room.
Big room.
So you gotta stay, Ag. You can't just leave people in the lurch.
Look at these French doors.
I'm looking. I'm also thinking about heat loss.
I'll stay until you can until you leave for the summer.
8 feet 2 inches.
You're gonna get married, aren't you, Ag?
Maybe.
That guy you told me about from church?
Maybe.
You gonna have children? You will. I know you will. You'll have a boy of your own.
Hold it right now.
Will you come back to see us?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh my, yes.
You won't. You won't, Ag.
I
You won't.
will,
No,
surely.
you'll never come back, Ag. I'll never see you again, ever.
12 feet 4 inches.
Come here, Michael.
No.
Come here and give Aggie a big hug.
No, why should I? No.
Just a squeeze for old time's sake.
No. Go hug your own kids, Agnes. I've got work to do. I got a whole stack of homework to do. I'm missing a whole day of school.
Michael!
Okay, there is your dining room, doctor.
Good. Let's stop talking about this. Great, guys. You guys are coming along too. Really nice. Again, what a great little scene. Isn't it fun being like that young, John?
Yeah.
I love that age. Yeah. You know, at the very beginning, John, Michael, you scared the shit out of me. Jimmy, I wanted to. You know, should be a little joy, and I am.
Okay.
You know, I did. You know, there's a little aspect of, yeah, I like to fuck with you. Yeah, there's a little bit of grandpa in the little kid. You know, wanting to fuck with her a little bit. You know, that's why he plays games where he doesn't have games with anybody. That's, I think, part of the huge loss for him is he can kid around with Aggie, but he can't kid around with his mom and his dad. That's what's half the fun of it, right? And because you have this kidding around relationship, that makes her exit even more of a betrayal.
Okay. Yeah, because part of me, you know, when I first did this scene, I was kind of doing it that way, or kind of like enjoying.
Yeah.
And then I thought about the fact that maybe he was like, he's already angry with her because he knows she's leaving, and that the boo is like, well, I wanted to, because I'm, you know,
Yeah,
you didn't come upstairs. You didn't come upstairs. You made me wait. I'm lying there waiting. You went, you know.
Oh, I like that. I like the way you're talking when you're doing that too. Listen to that in the playback. That's the character. That's the guy. That's the kid that you need to follow through on. Just in riffing, you just came out with his rhythm and his character. That was great. Terrific. Aggie, I got an idea for you. Is a lot of what you can do. You can say a lot with your polishing and not polishing when you stop polishing. So for example, if in the very beginning, the first pause, Michael says, "My mother says you want to leave us," and then you have a pause, right?
Yes.
Right. Mother says you want. Let that moment, use the getting back. Like you don't know how to deal with the fact that your mother has given this information to the kid. And so you go back to the polishing and then see where that leads you.
Okay.
But the polish, you making a decision, a character decision on when you're polishing and when you're not polishing will help. And it seems to me that indicates to me that when she's confused or upset, or not sure what to do, that she uses the polishing as sort of an excuse not to say anything.
Okay.
Right? And I would look at that, how you can use that to your advantage. Michael, I know I ate dinner in the dining room. Listen, yeah. I'm sure you know this, John, but I just want to repeat it. Like 5-6 lines after that note I just gave to her, you say, "I know a lot. I ate dinner here in the dining room. I listen. I know my Uncle Paul's drinking himself into oblivion." And others, you got to say those lines without understanding the words. I know my Uncle Paul's drinking himself into oblivion. That there's an innocence to the right. Yeah. And he's rich as Croesus, yet he's drinking himself into oblivion. There needs to be a sense that you're quoting other people.
Right.
Right. Okay. Cool. Which again is my favorite thing about playing somebody who's having a mental problem or somebody who's younger than me who doesn't know. It's a subtractive process, and there's a great joy in the subtractive process. About 5 or 6 lines after that, Michael, you say, "You know what, Ag? Then what, Ag?" And there's no answer. You can really consider that and play that as a pause. Because "don't you like us anymore" is a new beat for him. It's a new tactic.
Yeah, okay.
Not even Jewish, and you're using guilt. Right? Oh, and by the way, I meant to tell you that other thing. Is it a Catholic school? Sounds Catholic. Talking about a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, Protestants and the Catholics, and the Catholics.
Hate the Catholics,
hate the Catholics, and the Catholics hate the Protestants, and the Hindus hate the Muslims, and everybody
all
hates
of us
the Jews.
But not a national brotherhood.
There we go. They don't know what we just did, but I'm glad you do. Okay, so because I don't like it. Good. All right. So Mike, a little further on that page, because I don't want no domestic service anymore. Pause. Now here's the classic kid question. Why? A kid can just write, and then she says, "Because I don't like it no more." Well, that's because, and then now you've got a solution. That pause is you coming up with a solution. And the solution is obviously that's because Ida left and you have too much to do, Ag. I can take care of that. So you come up with a solution. Great. What else do I have notes? Then when you be, okay. I think this is the most important note I have for you, John. It's about a half a page later. It's right after the architect's first line when you say, "Then when will you be going? When will you be going then, Ag?" You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the beginning of your challenge. Call that's my challenge. That's my coming down to the day challenge. Challenge her with that line. I want to see what happens if you play that out to the end. And the architect and the psychiatrist, pick up your cues. All right, here we go.
Where are we? I don't know where we are.
Okay.
Page 23. It's page 23, the bottom,
Okay.
where the architect says, "Okay, let's measure it out then."
Yep.
Okay. So
Okay, good.
who's
I'm
starting?
there. I'm there. Yeah.
John, you're starting.
Architect.
Okay, let's measure it out then.
When will you be going then, Ag?
Good. Now I want you. This is what I'm saying: is challenge her. Make that a challenge. Okay, if you're going, when will you be going? So you see what I'm saying is, if you accept the fact that she's going now what's your last tactic is challenge, which will take you into more naturally into what you're going to do at the end of the scene. Here we go. So same line. Go ahead, Vasily.
Okay, let's measure it out then.
When will you be going then, Aggie?
As soon as your mother can find someone else.
She can't find anyone, Aggie.
She will. She will.
She says she can't. They keep showing up with dirty fingernails and dyed hair.
See, the challenge is you can't go because she can't find anyone. And every time she does, it's wrong. You know, see how he becomes the problem solver because he's the boss of the house. All right, here we go. When will we be going then, Ag? Challenge. Just think challenge at every point. Here we go.
Okay, let's measure it out then.
When will you be going then, Ag?
As soon as your mother can find someone else.
She can't find anyone, Aggie.
She will. She will.
She says she can't.
John, you're not challenging her on she can't find anyone, Ag. And that's more of a challenge than she can't find any. Can't be casual. You got to follow through on the challenge and challenge her with every line. See where that takes you. That's what I'm saying is when you start to work a new beat and the whole beat is really trying to lead you to something that's very emotional, hang on to the challenge. Keep challenging poor Aggie. All right, here we go. Ag.
Okay, let's measure it out then.
When will you be going then, Ag?
As soon as your mother can find someone else.
She can't find anyone, Aggie.
Yes, she will. She will.
She says she can't. They keep showing up with dirty fingernails and dyed hair.
Okay, 22 feet 6 inches.
Fine room.
Big room.
So you got to stay, Ag. You just can't leave people in the lurch.
Look at those French doors.
I'm looking, and I'm also thinking about heat loss.
I will stay until you go away for the summer.
8 feet 2 inches.
You're going to get married, aren't you, Ag?
Maybe.
The guy you told me about from the church?
Maybe.
You're going to have children? You will. I know you will.
Good. Great. Great, John. Great. You see how that challenge beat help you all the right now. Take the challenge even deeper. Now, I know what you're going to fucking do. You're going to get married, aren't you? Right? Okay. It's because this is the part that really is getting to him. All right, here we go. Challenge, but deeper. And here we go. You're going to get married.
You're going to get married, aren't you, Ag?
Maybe.
That guy you told me about from church.
Maybe.
You're going to have children? You will. I know you will. You'll have a boy of your own.
Hold it tight now.
Will you come back to see us?
Oh, my, yes.
You won't, Ag.
I will, surely.
You'll never come back, Ag. I'll never see you again, ever.
Come here. Oh, sorry.
12 feet 4 inches.
Come here, Mike.
No.
Come here and give Aggie a big hug.
No. Why should I? No.
Just to squeeze for old time's sake.
No. Go hug your own kids, Agnes. I got work to do. I've got a whole stack of homework to do. I'm missing a whole day of school.
That's great, John. That's absolutely great. You see how that challenge beat leads you to that last line, whereas before it seems comic and manipulated. This way it seems really natural because you've set yourself up before. Oftentimes when you get to a really emotional place in the script, and that is obviously the most emotional place, you got to work back and say, where does all of this anger that I'm exhibiting come from, and when does it start? It starts when I challenge her, and it still doesn't help. And then I tell her that I know what she's going to do and it's wrong, and it's still, and then I go, no, you're not coming back. And it all just sort of fits in naturally for you. It's great. Great. You won't, right? You won't. Okay. All right. That's good. Any questions you guys have on that?
No.
Bravo. All right. So I want to start in the same place with the architect and the buyer. And then I want you guys to help them. So we're going to go from, okay, let's measure it out then. This same place. You're going to get another shot at the challenge. And then what is it? It's a challenge. It's a challenge that goes to a doomsday scenario. John?
Uh-huh.
It's a
Yeah.
challenge that goes to the doomsday scenario is she's getting married and going to have a boy of her own. That's the doomsday scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here we go. Let's go from, okay, let's measure it out then.
Okay, let's measure it out then.
When will you be going then, Ag?
As soon as your mother can find someone else.
She can't find anyone, Aggie.
Oh, she will. She will.
She says she can't. They just keep showing up with dirty fingernails and dyed hair.
22 feet, 6 inches.
Fine room.
Bedroom.
So you gotta stay, Ag. You just can't leave people in the lurch.
Look at these French doors.
I'm looking. I'm also thinking about heat loss.
I'll stay until you go away for the summer.
8 feet, 2 inches.
You're gonna get married, aren't you, Ag?
Maybe.
That guy you told me about from church.
Maybe.
You're gonna have children.
Oh,
You will. I know you will. You'll have a boy of your own.
Hold it tight now.
Will you come back to see us?
my, yes.
No, you won't, Ag.
I will,
You'll,
surely.
you'll never come back, Ag. I'll never see you again, ever.
Come here, Mikey.
12 feet, 4 inches.
No.
Come here, give Aggie a big hug.
No. Why should I? No.
Just a squeeze for old time's sake.
No. Go hug your own kids, Agnes. I got work to do. I got a whole stack of homework to do. I'm missing a whole day of school.
Michael.
Okay, there is your dining room, Doctor.
There it is.
Big room, light room, commodious room,
One of the reasons we bought the house.
and one of the reasons we should consider breaking it up.
Breaking it up?
Now, bear with me. What say we turn this room into an office for you and waiting room for your patients?
I thought we planned to open up the maid's rooms on the third floor.
Hold on, relax. The patients trust the psychiatrist, doesn't he? Why can't the psychiatrist trust their architect? Now, here's the ground plan of your house. Here's what you're stuck with for the moment. And here, with its approximate dimensions, is your dining room.
I see.
Now, suppose, just suppose, we started with a clean slate. Suppose we open this up here, slam a beam in here, break through here and here, blast out this, throw out that, and what do we have?
I'm not quite sure.
Well, we don't have a dining room anymore. That's what we don't have.
But where would we eat?
Here, right here, look. I'm putting it in an eating area. Here's the fridge, the cooking units, Cuisinart, butcher block table, Chrome's chair. See? Look at the space, the flow. Wife cooks, kids sit at the table, you stock the dishes, all right here. Democracy at work in your own home. Now, let's review your day. You come down to breakfast. Everybody's fixing his or her own thing. Eggs, cornflakes, Pop-Tarts, whatever. You eat, chat, read the paper, say goodbye, come in here to go to work. Do you have a nurse or a receptionist?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you have a nurse or receptionist?
Oh, no, I'm just a humble shrink.
Well, you come in here to the reception room. Maybe adjust the magazines on the table here. Maybe add your newspaper to the pile. Then you go through a soundproof door into your office. You turn on your stereo console here. Maybe select a book from a wall unit here, and then settle behind your desk model here. You read. You listen to music. Soon, buzz the patient arrives. You turn off the music, put aside your book, and buzz him in through the soundproof door. He flops on the couch here, tells you his dreams. You look out the window here. He leaves you. You write him up, buzz in the next. Soon it's time for lunch. You go in here, have lunch with the wife or one of the kids, and maybe stroll back in there for a nap. More buzzes, more patients, and soon it's time for a good, easy, cooperative supper with your family.
But not in the dining room.
No, not in the dining room.
This room has such resonance.
So does a church. That doesn't mean we have to live in it. Look, I know whereof I speak. I grew up in a room like this.
Oh, yes?
Oh, sure. This is home turf to me.
Really?
Oh God, yes. My father sat in the chair just like that.
Hmm.
And my mother sat here. And my sister here. And I sat right there. Ah, don't come back to me.
Do you want to tell me all about it?
It was torture, that's all. Those endless meals, waiting to begin, waiting to the dessert, waiting to the excuse so they couldn't lean on you anymore.
Was it that bad?
Oh man, it was brutal. I remember one time I came to the table without washing my hands, and my father,
Go on.
never mind. The point is, doctor, it's time to get rid of this room. Tell you frankly, I'm not interested in screwing around with any more maid's room. I can do that in my sleep. What I want is the chance to get in here and I can open up your whole ground floor. Now, what do you want to say? What do you want to say?
I'll have to think about it.
Okay, fine. Take your time. Tell you what, I'll send you my bill for the work I've done so far.
Good. I'll send you mine.
Good. Good, good, good. Much better on both of your parts. Love it. What's good about you, Vasily, is that you're getting his rhythm. You're getting the sense of, that sort of artistic ribbing. You're very excited about your project. That's what's so great about it. Remember, the excitement for the project is the theme for him in this particular moment. And what it does is it brackets the psychological section when you just sort of give up, and so that if you keep excited about the project and then you have that, it'll be and what puts you back on the same track is, never mind, doctor. The point is, and you come after that little psychology section, you snap out of it and you get back what it is. But when you come back after the psychology section, after realizing the pain the room has caused you, you're a little upset that he isn't moved by that. You've got to be a little more upset at the end of the scene because you're coming out of that psychology section. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, good. Eric, it's great. You're much more playful with him. You're much more aware of what he's doing now, which makes you smarter, which makes the whole scene much more interesting. Excited. Can't wait to tell you. Now, bear with me. Here's another example of the architect says, and one of the reasons we should consider breaking it up. You say breaking it up. Architect, now bear with me. Come on. What say we turn this room? That's where the excitement really begins. That's really where you start.
Now bear with me. What say they turn this room into an office for you and a waiting room for your patients?
Great. And then his reaction to that is?
I thought we planned to open up the maid's rooms on the 3rd floor.
Oh, hold on.
Eric, wait a minute, what the fuck? I thought we were.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So that starts to set the contrast between the two, and it also then allows you to just realize that it's his issue. It has nothing to do with you and what you discussed. That's the psychiatrist who's used to listening to people going, "What the fuck?" And then yeah.
So right there, he gets an inkling that this is the architect's issue, and it's not right. It's
exactly. There's a point where it's like, did I not communicate this to you? Right. That turns into like, oh, I'm beginning to see more and more that this is all about you and not about me and what I want.
I thought we planned to open the maid's rooms on the 3rd floor.
Hold on, relax. The patients trust the psychiatrist, doesn't he? Why can't the psychiatrist trust the architect?
Right. So now here's where you just sort of give it up, Eric, and you go, okay, now I see where this is going. All right, yeah, and then we let it go. And,
well,
I
think he's kind of stunned by that statement. Sort of,
appalled.
The hubris of this architect to say such a thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's a bigger issue.
Right.
Than you. It's a bigger issue than you. Look a minute. So, Vasily and the teacher here, right here. Look, I'm putting in an eating area. Here's the fridge, the cooking unit. Don't be afraid to be the artist. You know what I mean? The cooking units. I'm creating all this stuff. It's great. Now I'm beginning to
And
understand.
and it seems like it's not just there is a list. I'm just like it's a list of creating thoughts on the go.
Yes, exactly. You're riffing. You're improvising. You're the artist.
Like
going,
quick search of the
Yes.
words. So
Exactly. Exactly. A little further on the next page, psychiatrist says, but not in the dining room, right? And your answer is no, period. Not in the dining room. Not in the dining room. No, not in the dining, right? You got to put that. And then this room has sense resonance as a positive, Eric, right? Didn't come
I
off.
know, but he's also sort of using it to goad him along to see to find out what's really going on under there, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
I thought he would say something like, "This room has such resonance."
Yeah. Well, so does a church. But yeah, exactly. I like
no, not in the dining room.
that. Right. Terrific. Okay, guys, you're on the right track. You're all on the right track. And you got 2 weeks off. My suggestion to you to move this along is I would just gradually start to learn what we've already been over in any of these 8 scenes. And then I will send you a schedule, at least by next week, of what we're going to start with when we come back, so that you'll know what new stuff we're going to do and what old stuff we might rework, so that you guys can prep for that and get ready for it. And we'll be on track in 2 weeks.
Can John and I get a chance at some point in the next, session to do that scene?
Yes, absolutely. We can do it. We can do it as the first thing on the next.
All right.
Again, if you want, like I say, all of you can bring in your own stuff. Just send me a note before the first class if there's something else you want to work, so I can time it out and figure out a good schedule. Because I'm pretty good with time. Tonight I went 10 minutes over, so that's on me. But I'm happy to spend that time. I'm pretty good with time. So
We didn't do the scene with Kate and Gordon, the two having the affair with the kid coming home.
We'll launch that when we come back. All right. I can't wait till next session. I hope you guys have a good 2 weeks off. So that means we're back on. Somebody have a date calendar in front of them?
Yeah.
So we're coming back on September 13th.
Yep, that sounds right. Yep, sounds right.
Yeah. Wow.
September 13th. Yeah.
That's normally my opening night in Cleveland.
1, 2,
But I'm
3,
not in
4,
Cleveland
5,
anymore.
6. Until
Was it going
October
to be
18th.
before this kicked in?
What's that?
Was this going to be an opening night before this kicked in?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. It was going to be I can't even tell you because Scott would be mad if I told you what the project was, because we're putting it on ice for next year. But yeah, this would have been, let's see. No, it would have been the Friday after the 13th. So that if we're coming back on a Sunday, and that's the 13th, it would have been
18th.
18th.
Friday's the 18th.
But that would have been Hell Week. So anyway,
Can I put you on the spot and see would you cast me in that thing?
yeah, don't ever put me on the spot that way. But can I come to audition and we can play? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys.
Okay. I love you guys. Have a great 2-week break, and I'll be in touch with you if you have. Listen. Also know that you guys can call me, be in touch with me. I will help you. John and Vasily and I had a session earlier this week for about 15, 20 minutes. And it was really, I think, helpful tonight, saved us work tonight. If you need something from me, I'm here to support your work, whether we're on camera or whether we're off camera. So
I
feel
think
free.
Mel and I might do that. What do you think, Mel?
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will talk to you soon. And Vasily, I'm up on. You have to add. We are up tomorrow night. That's all set. That's all programmed. And Tuesday night is my last session of the writers. And you need to program a new session because we skipped 1 week like before.
You mean the solo show?
Yeah, the solo show.
So that will start since next, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 1 more week this Tuesday.
Right.
So make sure you give me some new numbers for that night.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you,
Good
Bill. Thank
night.
you.
Good
Bye,
night.
bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye.